Okay, we're live. Hey, everybody.
Hello. Hey.
Hello, Emily,
Hey
Bug
everyone.
Dude, Phoenix, Forrest, Susanna. Everybody knows everybody that's on the panel here, obviously. You got Jess with Keto, Tasha at Prep for It, and the Milkmaid, another Dasha. Did I do it in my good Russian accent? Dasha.
Gosh.
Um, um, I guess we can wait a few minutes to see if. Let me see if I can copy and paste the link if anybody else wants to come up here.
Hey, is
Crap.
this like all right angle? Yeah.
Yeah, you can see everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get on up here and just be in the external if I need to. Not a big deal. Or if my connection's not real great.
There's the link for anybody in the chat if you want to hop up here with us.
Come on, get up here.
Come on.
Just guys, remember, mouths. Be careful on your language. We don't want to get demonetized. Please.
Oh yeah.
Language.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I monetized this thing already.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for people to jump up, Ghost, do you want to read your disclaimer or let?
Yeah. Oh crap! I can't pull it up on my phone. Hang on, I can pull it up right here. Because I got my phone on and that's where I saved it on, so I gotta.
Hey, Rip Curl.
Hey, Rip. Hi, JH556. Susanna. Emily L. Bug Dude.
Crap, Jess, I got it on my phone and I don't want to turn it off because I'm linked in. Do you have it? Can you read it?
Yeah, give me a second. I'll pull it up. All right, so the disclaimer of this live is I'm not a professional. None of us are professional canners, and the methods we use may or may not be approved by the FDA. The video is intended for entertainment purposes only. The no-soap method we are using in the video is an example of a non-approved canning method. If you choose to can or preserve food in any way, you should do your own research and understand the risks if food is not handled, prepared, or stored properly.
Yes. Thank you very much for that. I have it on my phone, but I don't want to turn the camera off. So, but let's see, we got 18 people.
We
y'all want to go ahead and you concur? I'm going to need a blood oath. It's got to be signed in blood, the contract.
Oh, let me grab a knife.
Rip Curl's here. Hello, Rip. What's going on? JH556, Phoenix, Sheila. Hello. Oh, we got 23 people. Wow. You ready to get started?
Ready when you are.
This is my first live canning video. I have been canning for a few years. I get very creative in the kitchen when I can. And so far, knock on wood, I've never had a bad batch. I've never had anything go wrong. I've popped 2 lids in the last 3 years, and only one of them popped, or actually just didn't seal when it came out of the canner. The other one popped in transit when I moved all the way from Florida in the back of a U-Haul, which was awesome. But yeah, so I may do it a little bit different. Everybody's going to have like their own little twist on it, obviously. But the cool part, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do a panel, is because like if I mess up or forget to say something, somebody else will jump in and correct me. Like with my last canning video, when I was corrected because I forgot to tell you to debubble the chicken. You know, I don't know. It's just weird. It's like a simple thing that you just kind of do by habit, but I just forgot to say it and I forgot to video it. But I did do it. I just didn't get it on video. So this is going to be the no soak method. I was going to do it the soak method because that's the way I've always done it. And then Jess brought up a really good point that the no soak method is a whole lot faster. I mean, you're saving yourself hours of prep time. And since I've never done that method before, I'm like, yeah, let's do it that way because I can learn something too. So it's kind of like I'll kind of learn because I sure don't know everything. That's for darn sure. So if everybody has their jars and everything ready, you can see I'm running 2 cameras here. I can come over here and type in chat and then kind of move my phone around to show you guys all the stuff that I'm doing. And if you guys also, you can notice that Milkmaid and Jess, you can both see their stuff behind them. That's cool. Oh, trust me, when the jigglers start going, we're going to be yelling at each other.
It's going to be noisy. It's all good.
Yeah, I just thought about that earlier. I'm like, wait a minute. When them jigglers start going off in everybody's background, it's going to get noisy. We're going to be doing sign language, hand signals and stuff.
It'll be all right.
I thought about that. I was like, I've got another place I can go sit while everyone's jiggling.
Yeah. Well, we've got the beans. You guys have your beans. You've got your jars. You got your funnel, your lifters, your dish rags, your strainers, and all that good stuff. So, where'd she go to get her strainer?
Yeah, she forgot something.
Oh, aha.
You got it.
Aha. So I'll just kind of run through the first process, and then we're all just going to go do it, and then we'll meet back here in the middle and huddle up and move on to the next step. So the first step's obviously going to be getting your beans cleaned and sifted. What I like to do is I pour them in a strainer and I sift them real good, looking for rocks and dirt, and because it does end up in there a lot, and especially if you're doing pintos, because those little rocks and the dirt is usually about the same color, so they're really hard to see. I put them in a strainer, sift them really, really well, and then I rinse them off really, really good before I jar them up. And what we're going to do, I'm using quarts, but you can also do pints. The quart processing time is an hour and a half. I think the pints is just 45 or 50 minutes for pints?
The pints are 75 minutes.
75 minutes, and the quarts are 90 minutes or an hour and a half. So what we're going to do for the pint jars, a half a cup of beans, and for the quarts, it's a 1 cup of beans. And then you're simply going to fill it up with clean, clear water to the 1-inch headspace mark on your jars, which is approximately that great big ring at the bottom. That first ring is right about the 1-inch mark. That's usually what I shoot for. So we're going to go ahead and jar up the beans, and you'll be able to see all three of us doing it, the examples in our cameras. We're going to jar up the beans. We're going to add the water. We're going to debubble. We are going to debubble live on camera, and then we're going to refill it, because the bubble, what happens is when you debubble it, sometimes your fluid level will drop, so you have to top it off. Once that's done, we're going to take the lids, put them on there, clean the rims. Clean the rims, put the lids on there, and since we're starting cold, usually if I'm starting my first load and everything's cold, I don't simmer my lids or any of that. I just get them good and wet. They're the same temperature as everything else, and I've never had one pop ever. I've never even boiled or simmered my lids, because my hot water heater pumps out water at just about the temperature of boiling. So I just run them under the super hot water real quick, and they heat up fast. If I was doing the soak method, I would definitely heat up my jars, or I would cool the beans down. But so we are going to get our jars filled, and we will get to the point to, we'll just go and get our jars filled and get our lids ready and get our lids and stuff done. Well, let's put the beans and the fluid in the jars. How's that? What you got, Milkmaid?
I was just curious.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What?
I was just
Can you send the link, the StreamYard link, to Emily real quick before we get started?
Yeah, I already put it on. Yeah, I put it on the screen.
Oh.
I'll do it again.
Ghost.
At least
you wanna
some
do
may
it?
not, but the process is still the same. She's asking if everybody's using the same type of pressure canner. I don't know. Ghost, what type of pressure can you have? The All-American, correct?
I have an All-American 921.
Okay. And Milkmaid, what kind do you have?
All-American.
Presto.
I think it's a 9.5.
And
Okay.
I have an antique. Mine's a mirror.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Okay, there's the link again. Wow, this thing's running slow. Okay, there it is.
And Milkmaid, what was your question? What was you going to ask?
Oh, are we turning the stove on so it can start heating before we put them in? I mean, it's like hot as Hades in here right now. So,
yeah.
I wait until I personally wait until my jars are completely full, and then I turn mine on. But whatever you guys do.
Yeah, mine heats up super fast, so I'm just gonna turn mine on right before I stick them in there. But it's each person, each to their own. You know what I mean?
Since your jars are cold, your water doesn't need to necessarily be very warm in your pressure canner when you're adding your cool jars to it.
Right.
So,
yeah, I try to keep everything close to the same temperature. Hey,
Virginia.
Virginia.
hey, Virginia. Yeah,
I
if you're doing the
very
hot,
well, but
if
Yeah,
you're doing
and-
the hot pack method, then you want your water to be hot, your jars to be hot, and your food that's being put in your jars to be hot.
Yeah.
But this way, you're starting out cold, right, Ghost?
Yep. I try to have everything as close to the same temperature as possible, within 10 or 15 degrees. Oh, and also everybody in the chat, this is a monetized stream, so let's make sure we're talking like big boys and girls. I don't want to get in trouble yet.
Can I also mention another thing, Ghost?
Yep.
So behind me, wherever I can point, on my canners, I have flour sack cloths, and I use those in the bottom of my canner instead of the rack because I can get more jars in. So just if anybody is wondering, that's what I am doing with the the flour sack cloth.
That's a great tip.
Hey, are we ready to get started?
Ready?
yep.
All right, let's do it.
I'm using pints, so that was half a cup, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing, I'm doing cranberry beans and pinto beans. So I'm gonna do them both at the same time because it's the same processing.
And I'm doing northern beans or soup beans.
I'm doing pinto and kidney.
Awesome. As you're sorting your beans, y'all just remember not just to look for foreign objects like dirt and rocks, but also if there's any beans in there that look like they're like not looking so hot, you want to take those out as well. You don't want to have anything that could compromise your food in there.
And one of the things that I do when I'm sorting out beans, like even if I'm just cooking them, is I'll put them on a counter or a table, and I have a bowl in my lap, and I just scoop a little bit out of the pile, spread it out, and I can find out little rocks super easy, and then just scoop them into the bowl.
That's what I do too. I just pour out a certain amount, sort through them, scoop the good ones in the bowl, and then I push the trash to the side and then scoop it in the trash can at the end.
I think I might move farther.
Because you're going to wash them.
Jars, because it might be loud.
Okay.
I don't even know if you guys can see that.
You're good. We can still see you.
Yeah. So it's a cup of beans for the quarts, yes?
Yes.
Yes. And a half for the pint.
I'm going to get lined up here.
Sheila says cranberry beans are the best. I've never tried them, but now I really want to since everybody's saying how delicious they are.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
I had that one for that. I'm doing black beans.
Oh, yum. My granddaughter loves black beans. I made some refried beans out of black beans one night, and she's always talking about them now. I don't even remember what all I put in there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is anybody adding salt to their beans?
I do normally. I'm not this time.
So
I'm not.
Question. I can just add in some spices too, yeah? Because I've never actually done beans before. I've done meat and stews, but not beans.
Well, now some spices take on a weird flavor, or it's just like overly spiced whenever it kind of blooms the spice in the canning process. So that's up to you, but just keep that in mind.
Well, I was thinking like some cumin and maybe some garlic powder. Make them like Mexican black beans.
Sounds good. You'll have to let us know how they turn out.
Right?
Is it okay if I use my chicken broth from the dollar store instead of water?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Yep, because you've got to can your beans for the same amount of time you would meat. So the broth
Okay.
being in there's fine. Yeah.
And are we doing liquid now up to an inch at the rim?
I am. I'm just moving along.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. And then don't forget to debubble after you add your liquid to that rim.
And how much salt for the quart?
Half a teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon for the quart.
Oh man,
That's what he's
not much
saying.
salt. I love salt though.
You can always add more after. You can always add more after. Remember.
Okay, my cranberry beans, the 2 bags of cranberry beans completely, it was almost perfect for 6 jars. So I'm only going to be canning 6 jars. The 7th jar I'll put in there and just fill it with water to hold the space, because I'm not going to open up a 4-pound bag of beans just to get a cup of beans out of it right now.
Understood.
And for Ghost's sake, let me see if I can get
Woo!
we'll get the water out of the
Saw that
Berkey.
Berkey. Flashing her Berkey. I've got a Berkey as well.
Although I wish I'd known that you could do 2 stainless steel pots. I would have saved me a lot of money.
Okay,
Y'all are making me hungry with all of this bean talk, you know?
Right?
It is the best whenever you have your beans already ready because, you know, you have to cook them for so long to get them all soft and perfect. And this way you can just pull them out and warm through and add whatever spices or whatever else you want to do to them, zhuzh them up however you want, or eat them just like this. And they're so good.
Well, I do love beans. And, you know, the other night I asked Ghost about, like, if you eat them every day, do you have any kind of, like, gas issues, that kind of thing? Because I was thinking about it. Your microbiology in your gut kind of adjusts to what you eat.
Yeah.
Like, it takes on a life of its own. So I'm thinking if we had them a little bit every day, then it wouldn't be an issue if shift happens and beans become a big part of it.
Yeah, beans are a staple of my diet, and so, I mean, I guess my gut's used to it because I've never had an issue. But you can see I filled the jars up, and then I also wiped the rims down really good with vinegar on a paper towel. Now I'm gonna add a splash of vinegar, probably maybe a 1/4 cup of vinegar actually, to the water in my pressure canner. That keeps the jars from getting that hard water build up, and it also makes them easier to clean if you have spillage while they're cooking and you get some food particles on the outside of the jar. Having that vinegar in the water makes it really, really easy to clean them off when you're done.
I did.
How much water in the canner? How many inches?
I do 2 inches.
Okay.
I do to like knuckle-ish. I don't measure it.
So after we vinegar the tops, then we put the lids on?
Yeah. You debubble?
Yeah.
Oh no, let me get a little butter knife to debubble. I'll be right back.
You don't want metal in your jar.
Okay, I'll get wood or something.
Okay.
Yeah, can you guys hear that? Should I mute this?
It's fine. It's not super loud.
Yeah, that's fine.
TH2 asks, can you add jalapeno in with the beans? You sure can. You sure can. You can add whatever peppers you would like. Oh my goodness. You can make it as hot as you want. Just remember, pressure canning seems to amplify a lot of that spiciness. So just kind of keep that in mind.
One thing I like to do is add meat. I'll put like smoked sausage, stuff like that in there with the beans and process them with it.
Yum.
So y'all are giving me
bacon,
all kinds
yes.
of ideas.
Yep, you can add bacon or.
Let me mute y'all for a second. Almost overfilled. Just so you don't have to hear that. Hey,
Wendy. Welcome. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Demeter. If you have any questions, if you'll type them in all caps, then I can see it better and I'll be able to automatically tell where the questions are. I'm trying to keep an eye on the side chat that sometimes I miss with my blurry vision.
Anybody else putting rings on yet?
I'm getting ready to do rings. Do we just lightly tighten them on?
Yeah,
Whenever
you want them finger
like
tight.
this. Yeah, not real hard. Just
Okay.
you don't want to wrench down on it. You want just the tips of your fingers holding it, and you give it a couple of turns, and when it grabs, you're good.
Okay.
No, it's not bad to add onions cooking at Homestead. That would be delicious.
Now I'm debubbling. This is way easier than doing them when they're cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, because you're handling everything cold instead of hot.
Boom. Okay, I'm gonna rewipe the lids for the rings.
Alicia asked, tell me more about the chicken broth and beans. Is it different flavor? It just adds a depth to it,
Yeah.
doesn't it? I think, you know.
It does. It does. Normally I would do chicken broth with these, but I didn't. I mean, since we're doing it this one way, I was just like, I'll just do the water.
Hey, Christopher, thanks for coming in.
How many of you on the external are canning with us? Is there anybody out there that's canning along with us?
Okay, this is how I finger type. Okay, I put the ring on and I spin it until it grabs, and then I just take my fingers and I just give it a little, just a mistake in the beginning. And I literally, it took me 3 days to get the lids off, the rings off. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Almost just threw all the jars away.
How much
Lady
vinegar
Hammer's
did you
out
say
there
in the?
canning with us.
Sorry,
Just about a quarter of a cup.
about a quarter of a cup in the canning.
Good.
Yeah, in the
Okay.
canning water. Yes.
Like, I don't measure it. I'll show you how I do it.
Just a glug.
Alright, there's my canner.
Who's cooking what?
Here's how I do it. I just do this. I just
Everybody-
take
We got the beans. Where's the ham?
I don't really measure it. I just pour some in. And then you load her up.
Okay.
And since I'm only doing 6 instead of 7, I'll take my extra jar and fill it with water. And I'll sit it in there with it. The reason you want to do that, you never want to can without a full load, because the jars will start wiggling when they start boiling, and they could fall over and break and all that good stuff. So you always want to occupy each space in the canner.
Sandra wants to know, I am canning with you. Do you need to remove any floating beans? I typically do.
Well, I didn't.
I would remove any floating beans or any skins.
Well, dang.
Okay, this is a cool part too. I want to show you guys. Is right there. Okay. Take olive oil, or you can use cooking oil. And since my All-American doesn't have a gasket, it's a metal-on-metal seal. I just lube the edge where it touches the lid, so it doesn't stick.
So I'm curious, what's the reasoning behind the floating beans being bad?
What was the
They're
question?
not dense, so they probably are bad. Yeah. She wanted to know what's the reasoning on the floating beans. How do we know that they're bad?
Yeah. Emily says
That's just what I've always been taught. That's what I've always been taught, is that any of them that are floating, they're They're not necessarily good. They're not dense. So it's kind of like a floating egg. You know, it's built up yuck in there, air in there and stuff if it's floating.
H2 says hello, Barrett.
Oh,
And with the All-American, you want to, when you're putting the lid on, you want to tighten opposite toggles.
Okay.
Somebody is saying it. Phoenix is saying it's hard to see what Ghost is doing.
Do what now?
Phoenix is saying it's hard to see what you're doing.
Oh,
Phoenix, are you looking in the center top? Because you can see him more what he's doing in that center top one. He's got two camera angles here.
tighten
There,
them
that's
down.
better.
Hey, Ark Wildman.
I have 2 questions. So I've got about an inch and a half of water above the rack in the canner. Is that sufficient?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then am I oiling both the canner and the lid?
No, I just do the canner, the edge of the canner. I just do it a nice little. I've never done the lid before, and it's never stuck on me. And I usually re-oil it about every 4th or 5th load, or every single time if I pull it out to use it.
Lady Casca, I've never used vinegar to clean the lids. You just clean the rims of the jars.
Yeah, not the lids, just the rim of the jar.
Exactly.
Because your lids are clean.
Yeah.
Hi, Firefly.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the heat on. Are we all at that point?
Yeah, my heat's on.
Are you turning it on high? What level of heat do you have it on?
I put
High.
mine on high.
Yeah, I put mine on high because you want it to come to temperature and steam.
All right. That's nice, Firefly, sitting down by the creek watching.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so normally this is like literally, that was the hardest part of the entire process to me, was the preparation and getting everything in the canner. Once it's in the canner, I mean, like that was it.
Yeah. Y'all just did the hardest part. Congratulations. That's really the hardest part.
Wow, we got 45 people here. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
That is great.
And who else is down there? Milkmaid. When did the Milkmaid disappear?
Oh,
I see her down there. I see her. I got her.
If your pressure drops to 9.5 for a minute, is it still okay? No, you have to make sure that you're staying at the full pressure or higher. You have to start over with your processing time if you drop below that.
Hello, Brenda.
Yeah, if you go below 10 psi.
Ghost, Virginia had a question.
What's up?
I'm gonna pause this and figure it out. I'm having trouble getting the lid to fix on. I've never used it and I've got it misthreaded. So I'll be right back. I'm doing pints, so my timing is gonna be a few minutes less than you guys. So I'll be a little bit behind, but let me figure this out.
Okay.
Okay, you're good.
Hey, did y'all say hi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
so who's the beginner?
Thanks, HTO Kid. I appreciate that.
I'm not sure.
Cindy B says she's a canner, but wanted to listen while you were on, Ghost Prepper.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can't believe we got 54 people in here. Are you kidding me?
Hi, everybody.
You'll have to do some more canning lives, Ghost.
I know, right? I'm thinking maybe next week we'll do like can some ghee.
Ooh.
Because everybody's asked about that, and I've never done it before, so it'll be like we'll do it together.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna use Rudy's knowledge because he knows everything, so I'm gonna rewatch his video a couple times and then do it.
Of course. Okay, so tell them what you're waiting for now. You're waiting for it to get up for steam to steadily start coming out of your
Yeah,
pressure canner.
I've got.
Not
Yeah,
just like
I'll show
bird,
you.
very steady, strong
Yeah,
stream.
yeah. What you're waiting for is the pressure to come up to 10 psi, and what's going to happen is it's going to start to vent and it's going to make crazy noise. And when it does that for 10 minutes, then you'll put the weighted gauge on there, and then you'll wait for it to come up to pressure and start jiggling, doing what it do. And then you know you're at the correct amount of pressure. And once you get that good steady jiggle, then you set your timer. And then it's an hour and a half for us to sit here and drink. And just
Welcome, Cyanide Cupcake.
Demeter Solis, hello. Brenda, ghee, okay, ghee it is. I've got about 18 pounds of butter in the fridge. I already planned on doing it. Might as well do it live. LTJ Mini Homestead, hello. I'm your Huckleberry. Welcome.
Okay, so you
I
said
love
to
his avatar.
screw these on opposite. So I've got this
Yeah.
one, so I need to go over here.
Yep. And you don't want to
Exactly.
crank them down super, super tight. You want to crank them down a little bit, and then once you get them all halfway tight, then go back and crank down on them.
It's kind of
Like a
like when you're
tire.
changing a tire and you're doing the lug
Yeah.
nuts up.
Yeah, because if you do them one at a time and you go in a circle and you get them real tight, then the opposite end of the lid won't seat right. So you want to do it as level as possible.
Hello, Forest
Exactly.
Monster.
Secret prepper.
I also go and kind of look around the edge to see if it's kind
Yeah.
of evenly cranked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I'm shut right.
They all have the American canners.
Uh-huh.
Is that shut right?
Yeah, if they're tight, if you can crank down on them, it looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, if the gap's pretty close, if the gap all the way around it is symmetrical, you should be okay.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna check.
But you'll know when it gets up to pressure because it'll be blowing steam out of the side.
Okay.
I did have that happen once.
Yeah.
Hello, Harvest Mary Moon.
Harvest Mary Moon, Farmer's Son. Hello. Art Wildman, what's going on? Uh-oh, Firefly Farm's coming up.
Hi, Rhea or Ray.
Did y'all see Ark Wildman's mulberry video?
I didn't. Not yet.
Yeah, you should see it. He's got an excellent point about squirrels.
Hmm.
Not the squirrels. Fine.
I tell you what, Virginia,
Okay,
I would love to have that canner. I would love to have that canner. That thing looks like it's like art.
I've
Ancient.
got
That's
an,
badass.
I believe it's a
that's awesome.
915. And I'm using I can't see what you can see, but I'm using a boiler outside that's hooked,
Yeah.
it's hooked up to propane.
Oh yeah.
And so hopefully I'll have eyebrows when we're done.
All right, Virginia, take the weight off for now. You don't have the
Take
weight
the weight
on
off?
just yet.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the weight doesn't go in there.
All right. So I've got fire under the pot.
Awesome.
If I turn that light off. Let's see.
Thank you, TA,
Yeah, you guys-
for noticing that.
If you guys like this stuff,
Sorry, go ahead,
if you
guys.
guys like this stuff, subscribe and we'll do it every week. I don't care. I
That'd be fun.
have fun doing it.
I am curious.
Yeah,
Virginia,
and I'm a big old dude. I don't care. I like the can.
Have you ever canned before, Virginia?
I've only done water bathing, and I just got this canner, and I had to buy replacement parts for it because it was vintage because you can't get them new. So at what point do I put this weight on? How do I know?
Oh, you'll know when it starts spewing steam. When it starts spewing steam out of the top, you let it vent for 10 minutes, and then you put the weight on.
Okay.
Exactly.
What about you, Milkmaid?
What? Is
Have
this my
you
first
watched-
time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay.
My first time was actually like Virginia. I did it on a camping stove outside.
Oh, okay.
Propane.
Awesome.
I wasn't
Yeah, so
allowed.
if you guys like this stream, I'll put up maybe we'll do like a weekly voting thing where I'll put up a thing in the community page and let everybody kind of vote on what they want to can next, and we'll just let them choose.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
would
don't
be
do
fun.
nothing exotic like kangaroo or something. I don't have any kangaroo around here.
There's a lot of cherries out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and while we're sitting waiting for the temperature to come up on our canners, if everybody could hit the thumbs up and share goes out, that would be amazing.
Please. Yes. Yeah, I mean, because it's like what was it, 2 weeks ago, Tasha, when I was live, I think on your stream, and I was canning at the same time. I was just having to get up and run. Wait, yes, I like literally I can chicken. I know I can chicken and chicken broth live, but I mean, I was in my bedroom on the laptop, but I would have to get up and run here and do things and swap out loads the whole time. So you don't have to stand in front of the stove once you figure out your temperature and how it works, and you learn to listen for the gauge to make its noise.
Yep.
See, that was my thing. I felt like I had to babysit it all the time, so I didn't can a whole lot. And then I realized that I didn't have to babysit it constantly. Once we got the good heat jiggle.
Once you get your pressure where it's just staying steady at what you want, then you're good. You've got to make sure, watch it for just a little bit to make sure it doesn't drop below that goal pressure that you're wanting.
And like, I'm canning on a glass top stove. I've never canned on anything but a glass top stove, and I haven't had any issues, knock on wood. But I'm just real careful. I don't slide it or anything. I pick it up and I sit it down, real gentle. I don't slide it at all on the glass, and it's worked just fine. Yeah. So
if you're a little lady, you might need to get your husband to pick it up.
Yeah, especially those All Americans, man. Those things are built to last. They ain't no joke. It's two hands to pick it up when it's empty.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Ronan, we're happy to do this.
Yeah, like with my stove, mine will be up to temperature and stabilize in about 20 minutes. Like it rocks fast. I'm like, sweet. Now the other stove at my old house, it wasn't like that. I would have to every 5 or 10 minutes. I was bringing it down a little bit. But this thing it ain't no joke. It's got a double burner. It's a huge area, but it has a double burner, so it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Biaxo says to can haggis.
I'm gonna can some Hassenpfeffer in a few months.
Hassenpfeffer.
I need to go kill a fly.
Okay. She needs that Venus flytrap thing Virginia's got.
I know, that was pretty awesome. Hey, Shane.
Yeah, Thanks, Firefly. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was just a weird idea. I was like, you know what? Well, let's just do it live. Yeah, because everybody's asking questions. I'm like, instead of me having to type and video and edit, I'm like, let's just go live.
I just think it's awesome because the people that have been so worried about doing it and just not, so intimidated that they won't take that first step. Once you get past that, you realize how easy it is. And I think that, that's good. It helps us encourage each other and helps us, to move forward and in our preparedness, and not just preparedness, but just self-sufficiency,
Yeah. Thank you, Harvest Mary Moon. I appreciate it. That's a sweet comment. I forgot I can put stuff up here. I forgot this is my live stream. I'm in charge. I can put things up. I'm so preoccupied. It's like, there it is.
Sorry, I'm always on the hunt for flies because there's so many cracks and crevices in this house. And I got animals, so they're part of life.
I hear you.
You want to see me can a little jar and a big jar. I don't even know how that will work out.
Not so remote Alaska says that they're canning burger right now. Rainstorm forced inside.
Nice.
Might
There
as
you
well
go.
make some use of your time somehow if you're going to be stuck inside, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get me a like about a 50-foot T6 internet cable where I can run it out into my backyard, and I'm gonna build a fire and can over the fire one night just to do it. To see how hard and how hard it is to keep it at temperature over coals. I think that'll be crazy fun.
I think that would be super cool because I really do want to try doing that myself.
Oh, maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
It's a lot more.
Instead
It'll
of
be fun. You have
fireside chat.
have your marshmallows, have a fireside chat, and can at the same time.
There you go.
Because it's a lot more challenging, to do anything like that over an open fire or coals, because you've got to get down regulating that heat and making it
Yeah.
even to keep your pressure canner up to pressure. So yeah, I mean, I would love to see that too.
That would be
Homestead
awesome.
Oz is here. Stephanie and Joe Roundtree, how are you doing? Homestead Oz. Good day, mate. How are you?
Hillbilly Homesteader, thanks for coming in.
She must have heard us say we were going to can kangaroo.
Rebecca, hold on, Aussie Mom had a video out.
Yeah.
She had a bunch of kangaroos in her backyard. It was
Oh,
so
nice.
cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Little baby ones too.
Yeah, I have a friend that lives in Australia, and he has a pet kangaroo he's been raising since it was a little Joey. He hops and follows him around the house, sleeps in a little dog bed in the corner.
Oh, they're cute.
Hey, Arkansas living.
Arkansas, what's going on, buddy?
See Cannon too?
I don't think so. I think he said this morning he was going to pop in, but he wasn't canning. I was hoping that Angry would be able to pop in. He said he was working, but he was going to try to stop by and say hello.
I left a comment. He put like a community post about Angry Truth being back. So I left a little comment. I'm like, please sneak away.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, and he returns every email I've ever sent him. Like just he don't even know me, and he always answers back. Usually within like 12 hours, sometimes like within 20 minutes.
No,
That's crazy.
Hello.
I mean, I've only got like 1,200 subscribers, and I can't even keep up with all this stuff. If it wasn't for Emily, I would have already freaked out and changed my name or something.
like I said, she's a rock star.
She stays on my butt, that's for sure.
Well, that's good.
Every guy
That's the
needs a
kind of
woman to be
channel
on his butt.
manager you
Oh,
need.
wait, that sounded weird. Sorry. That was unintentional. I'm sorry.
Just Josh is in here. What's going on, Josh?
Hey, Josh. Hey, Stephanie. Glad you could join us.
Whoa, we broke the 60 mark. We're at 61 people in here. Wow. I figured it'd be like 12 people maybe. Or just us.
If this was
Hey,
in like
Laura.
real life, I wouldn't be able to talk. I'd clam up and like want to sink into a corner.
It just makes it different whenever you're only staring at, 3 other windows or 4 other windows than seeing all the faces out there.
Yeah.
Right? I used to substitute teach at DOD schools, and I would get nervous getting up in front of the class of like third graders.
Yeah, that's what I do. Or actually, that's what I was doing. I only had one semester left to get my degree in middle grade science, but I've done a lot of substitute teaching, and I've done all my practicums and all that stuff. But yeah, it was like the first time in front of the class.
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad I had Buddy, because I was like fixing to have one of those episodes, and he locked it down, and the teacher's like, "Wow, did he just do?" I'm like, "Yep, that's what he does." It's pretty cool. 65 people, holy cow!
Ghost is popular.
Well, Milkmaid, I don't blame you for being intimidated in front of third graders. They see right through your soul. I mean, they see every little fear you have.
Oh yeah. But like they first wanted me, like at school, they were like, we're probably going to put you in the high school teaching program. I'm like, all right, cool. And I went and did my first, practicums in high school. I came back. I said, you might as well go ahead and change that right now. They go, well, I said, there's no way I'm teaching high school. Why not? I said, I can't do it. I will catch a charge. I would be in jail. There's no way I'm doing high school. Like, well, you want to do elementary? I'm like, nope, they're still eating crayons. Give me middle school.
I subbed once at a high school, like, because on post you had like a bunch of different, you had the elementary schools and then the high school.
Right.
And usually I worked with the little kids, but I subbed once when they were short in the high school, and I'm like looking up at these kids. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is freaking intimidating. I can boss around a kindergartner, but I can't boss around a high schooler.
Well, usually, the elementary kids, they're still chewing on crayons and stuff. The high school kids have already decided if they're going to be, a future convict or work at McDonald's. They've already made up their mind what they're going to do. Where they know if they're going to go to college, they know if they're not. And so it's like the middle school kids, you can say something and they'll be like, huh, okay. And you can kind of get their attention and kind of steer them in the direction you want them to go in. I see you down there. My computer is just running real slow, Virginia. I'm trying to get you up here.
Yeah, it's breaking up a bit. I don't know on my end.
I think it's just it's like I'm on Wi-Fi, and the more people that are up here, the slower it goes. Okay, there's Virginia. All right, I'm starting to steam.
Hi, Ginger Ninja.
I have steam also. So we're waiting for a 10-minute mark or just for steam? Do I put this jiggler on? Or?
You're waiting for it to be a hard steam. You'll know when it can't steam any higher of a pressure. That's when you put the jiggler on. Like, I'll show you a picture of it.
Okay.
I have no steam yet.
Yeah, that's cool. My burner is like my burner is supercharged. Like one burner on my stove equals like 2 normal burners. I'll show you a picture of it when I'm done. It's massive. It's like the whole thing, it glows red.
I'm using a huge propane stove, so I feel like I'm going to build up a little faster. This thing is fire,
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have to watch your pressure really close.
Okay.
My thing is, like, it's supposed to be a supercharged little, like, that's a big one, but
yeah,
not impressing me right now.
It'll get there. It's getting close. I bet you it's getting close.
66 people. We're almost at 70.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Cool.
Hey, everybody.
The most I've ever had, I think, in any of my live streams was 77, and I think that was the other night. I think that's the most I've ever had. Maybe.
Which one was that? When you're fixing your computer?
I can't see the chat, so anyone that's come in or said hello, I can't see you, but hello to everybody that's here.
Yes, Laura, Ghost turned it on high. Everybody's canners are on high right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the point of right now is just to build up pressure so you can put the weight on. So you crank it to high and get it there as fast as you can, and then you can do it at a lower speed if you want to, but you'll be in the kitchen all night.
As we're waiting for this to build up, does the pressure gauge move much since it's being released? Since the pressure's being released?
Mine's already up almost 5 psi, and I've been venting for a good 10 minutes.
You're welcome, Laura. Hi, Ginger Ninja. Hello, Moonlight
Go
Gypsy.
ahead and put it on, and then I'm gonna set my timer. No, well, I'm sorry. I put my weight on, and then I'll wait for it to get up to 10 psi. This will start doing what it does. Then I set my timer.
How's yours, Jess?
Mine's still coming up to pressure. I'm not steaming yet.
Okay, good. I'm not alone.
No.
Yeah, no, I love this stove. When I first moved in and did my first batch, I was like, wow. Because usually the getting up the pressure part takes the longest. With this stove, it's like half the time. Like I can for real boil water in like about a minute.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Ronnie says, I bought a pressure canner old school. I just haven't used it yet. I probably watched the replay. What kind of pressure canner do you have? Because mine's really old too. Mine's a mirror. I was gifted it from my mother-in-law, and then I actually went to a Goodwill and picked up an exact same one but smaller.
It's okay, Susanna.
Just because they're old doesn't mean they don't work.
Yeah, mine is old. I got mine on eBay. I have no idea how old it is because it didn't come with any paperwork. So I bought a new jiggler. I bought a new gauge. I bought the rack for the bottom. And I mean, it's so sturdy. This thing is probably 30 or 40 years old. I believe it's something around like the 915 probably. But I have full confidence that it's going to be fine because it's so well made that even though it's old, for something like this, for other ones, I can't speak for it, but.
Yeah, F home to C. I'm canning on an electric glass top right now.
Moon phase, I'm canning northern beans or soup beans, whatever you consider calling them. Pepper Tribe just jumped in. Hello.
What's
Hello?
up, Tribe?
Tribe.
Hey, Ma Berry. Saw you said hi a minute ago. I didn't want to interrupt anyone.
All right, here we go. I'm fixing my jiggler starting to do his thing.
All right. Okay, so jiggler's on then.
Not yet. If you don't have your steam, is your steam completely built?
Now.
Virginia?
So I'm gonna start my timer.
Is that enough steam?
Oh yeah.
You want it? It's
Hour and a
still,
half.
see how it's still kind of sputtering? It's not like staying a hard stream of steam yet.
Yeah.
Like it's not staying shooting up hard.
Okay.
So it's kind of jumping a little bit. Wait until it gets a real steady stream and then time it for 10 minutes before you put your weight on there.
Okay.
And then let it build up. Then let it build up to your 10 pounds of pressure.
Okay. Roger that.
You want it to look like a tornado, basically.
Yes. I mean, you want it looking like a steam kettle where it's just staying like a real hard stream, not like have any break in the steam at all.
Okay.
I think I'm going to turn my camera off for a sec. I got to go do something.
You're welcome, Ronnie.
I was at the thrift store the other day and I saw a pressure canner, and then I realized somebody had messed it up where the place where the steam would come out, or where the petcock would have been, they put some kind of bonding stuff in there, like a JB Weld or something to seal it up. I was so mad. I was like, really, people? Completely ruined it.
That's irritating.
Yeah.
And see, here's the tricky part, and especially going to be tricky for you, Virginia, is when you get up to pressure, you're going to have to stay close to the stove and be constantly turning it down. You initially probably going to want to turn it down to about medium and let it stop making this jiggle, and then slowly work it back up until it does it about every 3 to 5 times a minute is where I try to keep it. And see, I'm already at medium on my stove, and it's still jiggling like crazy.
Pepper Tribe, none of us on the panel are using electric pressure canners. Or, I'm sorry, that wasn't Pepper Tribe. That was Zane. I personally have never used an electric pressure canner.
68 people in here.
Woohoo!
Oh, come on, we can hit the 70.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I use a stovetop canner as well. So I've
I
never
didn't even
used
know
an
there
electric.
was. Sorry.
Yeah, there are some, and some people even pressure can like in their like there's pressure cookers things like what I have, like the Instapot, but I don't know. I don't feel safe with that, but to each his own. But I prefer something that's strictly for this.
I have to say IO because I can't say that word. IO, hello.
Oh,
I tried. I can't do it. like the first word I've ever not been able to pronounce. Ivo.
I of the K. I of the K-I.
I just say Io.
Just say Io.
I can't do that word.
There was a question right there. Do you see it, Ghost?
No.
Mawberry asks, when you pressure can potatoes, best what to do? Can I use same way for sweet potatoes?
I believe so. I've never done sweet potatoes, but I believe it's pretty much the same. Yeah, there's not a lot of variation.
Mouse Toes just put out a video on it, so if you're curious, you can go look on Mouse Toes' channel. And she just recently posted that, so you can go check that out. You just have to be sure and get all the little blemishes out of it and everything. She said that one of the things that she didn't like was that the canner book says to boil the potatoes and then scrape the skin off, and she didn't want to mess with that because it's not fun handling a hot potato. So she just peeled it and took any blemishes out, cut it into chunks, rechecked everything to make sure there were no blemishes, and then jarred it up.
I believe Ghost DH is going just off of his jiggler because your gauge isn't working right, Ghost.
Yeah, my gauge is off. It reads a little higher. It reads about 1 psi higher than it is. The gauge is off. But I don't go by the gauge. I go by the jiggler. I just look at the gauge to kind of get a ballpark figure, because I could actually just rip it off the lid right now and still can.
Yeah, the gauge is based. I mean, the jiggler is based off of just what, physics or something.
Yeah, the weighted gauge is based off the weight. The pressure gauge that's on there, this one has been off since the day I got it, but I just use it as a reference. I don't go by it. It's like on my pressure gauge, when it says it's at 11 psi, it's actually at 10.
Did you start your timer, Ghost?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm about 10 minutes in.
That's awesome, Zany. Zane. I keep pronouncing your name incorrectly. I'm so sorry, girl.
I think it's Zane, right?
Yeah, it's Zane.
Za. Yeah.
Za.
I named my rabbit after Za. She won the contest. So the cute little gray rabbit outside the gray and white one, that's her name is Za.
Aw. See, I had a favorite rabbit. She was pretty. Wow.
Ronan asks, how do you know when to use a pressure canner or if you can hot water bath can?
You can't. All right, what is it? The low acid foods have to be water bath canned. High acid foods are pressure canned. Like green beans, you can water bath green beans. I pressure can them anyway, but you can water bath them. But like meats, all your other beans and stuff, they have to be pressure canned.
I thought green beans were low acid.
Now you can water bath green beans. It just depends on how you season them. I mean, I don't water bath them.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that until I saw it in the ball book. I'm like, what?
Right. Well, I mean, you have all these old school canning methods that people have used forever. Like
with my green beans, I usually put in like bacon bits or ham or something, so I always pressure can them.
Yeah, I would recommend, if you're going to be canning, get something like a current ball canning book, because that pretty much lets you know which things you need to water bath, which things you need to pressure can, and go from there. That'll sure help you.
Yeah, and if you add any kind of meat, or if you're canning multiple things, you always go at the highest pressure setting for the highest food. What you got, BA?
Okay, so I've got quite a bit of steam. If you could tell me, is this my moment here for the jiggler? I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't, but there's no more water coming up.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. Yep.
All right.
Wait on. And be ready to turn your heat down as soon as it comes up and starts making that noise.
I don't even have steam yet. It's a big canner though.
I'm only 8 minutes into my time. I've only been at pressure 8 minutes, and I'm already down to between 2 and 3 on my burner. Like I literally for the last hour, I have it on pretty much on low for the whole last hour once it gets to pressure.
Listen to that jiggle.
Yeah, Virginia, as soon as that thing starts making a racket, that's when you want to turn your heat down. And you're using the open flame, so you want to go kind of aggressive but not crazy.
I've got 1 pound of pressure.
Do what?
It's dial gauge. Oh no. Wouldn't show it, would it? No. Never mind.
And you're not having any steam coming out the sides, right, Milkmaid?
Nope.
Okay.
Let me see if I can crank it more.
Virginia
All right,
has a question again.
I have 1 steam pocket coming out of the side. Do I need to undo this whole thing and start over?
If it's blowing out the side, yeah. Can you give it a twist and see if you can seal it off?
To take the jiggler off, you're gonna have to like let it.
Yeah, if you've got a leak, then it's not going to hold pressure. You may have a bad seal. You may have a bad seal on there.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that'd be
I'm
dangerous.
gonna work on this and I'll be back.
Hey, Virginia.
Yeah.
If you put that weighted gauge on there and it starts to build up pressure, don't ever yank it off like that. It'll violently decompress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I gotta fix this. I do have steam coming out the side. I'm gonna fix this and I'll be back.
Okay.
On that point, my canner, one of the things that drives me nuts is that after I'm done canning, I've done my time, all that stuff. The cool down phase, I don't know if because it's so freaking huge or what it is, but I can literally last hours. Like it will take hours for it to come back down off the pressure. And you're not supposed to like tap your jiggler and get, trust me, I'm itching to, but like you're not supposed to tap it and let the pressure release faster than it's supposed to. But I've gone where I've actually I gave up and went to bed and took the cans out in the morning because it would not come down fast enough.
I have to agree. I don't pressure can any tomato recipes that I have because the acidity in tomatoes. You don't need to pressure can tomatoes.
Buddy says hello. Sit down. Sit.
Oh.
See his carrot? See his carrot?
Laura's in the chat. Don't loosen that thing, girl. Oh my gosh, this terrifies me.
He's a cutie.
He's something else. Every night around 9 o'clock, he gets a carrot. That's his treat. That's his dessert.
Hello, Japheth. How are you doing?
Momberry, I've always pre-soaked mine, so I can't tell you what's a better method. I know that the pre-soaking is the approved method, but so you have to use your own discernment in that. But that's why they're doing this tonight, is just to see how well it goes. That's awesome, Japheth. I can't wait until you get a Presto either. That's what I have, and I love my Presto.
Look at that. Ghosties in 2 places at once.
I know.
He's ghosting.
What?
One of your cameras lagged, and it looked like there were 2 of you moving in different places.
Susanna, where are you located? Depending on the pressure, depends on where you are located.
Yeah, it
You're
depends
below
what
1,000
level
feet. Yeah, if you're below 1,000 feet in elevation, it's 10 psi. If you're above that, it's 15. If you're like at or below sea level, I think it's 5. Correct? I think.
I'm at 800 something.
Are we going to see Ghost Prepper do the jiggler dance? No, there's no room in the kitchen, Joe. It's tiny, tiny, tiny kitchen.
Oh, whatever.
So tiny.
Whatever.
And no yoga pants. We're disappointed.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got some TikTok pants I can send you, Ghost.
Okey-dokey.
What's that one brand that's like the leggings? It's like it started with an L, not Lululemon. It was something else. Super comfortable. Holy cow. Y'all are missing out. Y'all guys.
Thanks, JH. That's my boy. He goes everywhere with me. Literally everywhere.
And JH is a chick, I do believe. Which threw me off because the skull thing.
Yeah, we got the Punisher skull. I just assumed.
Susanna is asking what pressure canners we're using. I'm using a Mirror pressure canner.
I'm just being a fabulous co-host today, but I have a Presto.
Hey, Prepper 101's here.
Hey, Prepper 101.
All right, bring it, Prepper 101. Where's our jokes?
So everybody else on the panel is using an all-American canner.
And I'm still drinking Pepsi.
I'm not.
Japheth asked, there's more pressure the lower you go, or am I wrong on that? Something to that effect.
No, it'll be higher. Like 15 psi is higher than 10. I'm at 10 psi. So if you're in Denver, Colorado, you're canning at 15 psi. If you're in New Orleans, you're at 5.
That's how that works. I had to look up the whole reasoning behind that because I'm a why asker. I want to know why. Why?
It's because it's because the pressure, the way the environment, the pressure, it makes water boil at different temperatures. It's like when you see pictures of submarines underwater and you see all the bubbles coming off the thing on the back. That water is actually boiling. It's not air bubbles. It's boiling water. But it's even at like 20-degree water temperature, it's actually boiling because of the pressure created when the prop spins.
Makes sense. That's crazy. I have to think about it.
Ghost Prepper, what's the pressure in my mother-in-law mom's basement? I don't know, brother. Does she ever let you out of the basement, or do you have her locked in the basement?
I sent Prepper 101 a mother-in-law joke, and he didn't see it, and I thought it was kind of funny.
What is it? Tell us.
What? Oh,
Tell us.
I can't remember. It was something like she was going to cross the street, and the car was about to hit her, and I went to shout, "Watch out!" I think it was something like that, and then I decided not to because it was his mother. Something stupid, like.
Oh, Mad Shad's in here. Lady Hammer, what? My pressure's down to 0. If your pressure is all the way down to 0, I'd still let it sit for a minute or two and make sure it's completely at 0, and then slowly take the weight off, and then let it sit for another 10 minutes before you take the lid off.
Hey, Mad Shad. Greetings from the kitchen.
Heather, yes, Buddy is handsome.
No.
Yeah, he's my boy.
Jess, you got steam yet?
Yeah, my weights are on. I'm just waiting for my time now.
I'm
Still not. Milkmaid, still not, huh?
That's because you have an awesome canner and it's so huge.
It is big. I wanted to show you guys the lid before I put it on because it has that old school safety release. Which, if you think about the temperature that you have to get to melt the lead.
Right. I was gonna say, do you have it on? But I can see the fire underneath. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you got it on.
I mean, I've got it cranked all the way up, like almost to where it's, the clicker.
And see, now you know that the next time you do it, you would have started it early because you're in a situation where you could turn yours on before you even put anything in the jars and you'll be fine.
That's what I was thinking ahead of time. I was like, well, should I?
Like the way that thing's taken, you could actually turn it on and go to the store and get your stuff and come back and prepare it for the
Right.
Hey, Bella.
You could grow your own beans while you're
Yeah.
turn it on and then grow your own beans. Plant them, raise them, and then
Dry them, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Madsha.
I'll just be behind y'all. That's all right. It'll be done when it's done.
It's
I
all
got a
good.
nap so that I could actually stay up late tonight. Because normally this is like what, 9? I'm generally heading to bed at this time.
Susanna says, "Okay, it's at pressure. Now what?"
All right, if you're at pressure and it's venting, if it's been venting for 10 minutes, blowing steam out for a good solid 10 minutes, then you put your weight on. And then you wait for it to start making that noise, and then you turn the heat down. And you want it to jiggle and make that noise about 3 to 5 times a minute. That's what I try to do.
But you build it up to however many pounds of pressure for your area, right?
Right.
Before you turn on your timer.
Right. Yeah. Once you get the timer, and then once you put the weight on, you let it come up to pressure, and then you turn it down.
Okay. So I think Susanna's saying she's at pressure.
If you're at pressure, then turn your timer on and start reducing the heat.
You just want to keep it at or above pressure. So you can reduce the heat until it looks like it's going to try to drop down from that, and you want to keep that above that.
Right. You want to hear it jiggle at least 3 to 5 times a minute. I do it. You want 3 times a minute, 5 times a minute, right around there.
Hey, Nina. Hey, Gary. We're canning beans, various kinds of beans tonight.
Do you like to go by Gary or Bulldog? Or Gary Bulldog?
Hello, Discover Sustainable. How are you doing?
Man, I've got Jiggler in me right now.
What in the world was that?
Did you hear that? That was an E500 outside my door.
I was like, whoa. Somebody about to drive into your kitchen?
Prepper 101, you're something. Hello, Discover Sustainable, Q Kitchen and Beyond. Hello.
Oh, hi, Q. Hey, Tasha.
Yes.
Mouse Toes. I thought she was coming on.
She was going to be in the side chat, but I haven't seen her. Something must have come up.
She's a pig. I told her she's like a spirit animal.
I love her.
She's hilarious.
She is.
You gotta have.
See, I'm a half an hour in on my processing time, and I'm down to like 1 and 2 on my gauge on my stove. And that's pretty much where it'll sit. Like I could go take a nap right now for an hour and it'll stay right at the, I still check it, but it's pretty consistent.
Nice. Laura, thank you so much for playing my master playlist. She was helping get my watch hours up. Thank you, Laura.
Well,
Laura rocks.
I'd say it's getting hot, huh?
I was like, that was dumb. Yeah, finally got steam. Yay!
Yeah, she went over and stuck her hand over it and got a little steam burnt.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh man, y'all are chopping up. It's probably mine.
And it was funny because it burnt her, and she looked at the camera. She was hoping wasn't nobody watching, but I was watching.
We're watching you.
She was like, "This is what she did." She was like this. Watch. She went.
I love that little swagger walk that you did, nonchalant style. Back to your
Yeah, she was trying to play it off.
Out me.
Oh my
Gotta
god!
go break out the owl now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Noreen.
Hello,
Noreen, you
Noreen.
can do it.
Bella. Yeah, Lady Hammer, hang on. I'll post the link. Or Emily can. Well, you can't, can you?
Do you have enough room up here, Ghost, for more people? I can jump down if I need to.
No, we should be good. I mean,
Okay.
I'm lagging, but.
My teenage son just came and made fun of me.
Come on up, Lady Hammer.
Hey, Bella. Noreen, you can do it. You can.
You can do it.
I have faith. I have faith in you, woman.
What's that one that Shia LaBeouf, that however you say his name, he's like, just do it.
Just do it.
I have had that
Redneck.
as an alarm clock for a while.
I am
We still have
Japhet.
like an hour left, I think.
Yeah, I am Japhet Methuselah. This may end up being at least a twice a month deal, doing the live streams, but I'm going to do a whole complete. It's like, even though I'm doing beans now, I'm going to do a video on it and upload a video of it step by step as well.
Yeah, I think that'd be good too. Because if you watch through it and you realize you missed a step, you can go back and add it in between if you need to.
Yeah. Where'd you go, Lady Hammer?
I bet she's coming.
Like, she popped up in the back room and then it disappeared again.
Oh. LJC Mini Homestead says, at Ghost, you want a slow, steady hula dance, not rapid crazy. Right.
Right.
I
Yeah.
forgot I was muted.
Yeah, we're not twerking, we're jiggling here.
Zaynab was asking what everybody's canning, pints or quarts. I'm canning pints.
I'm doing quarts.
Oh, we got funnels.
There you go.
Problem is, like, I don't know about y'all, but I have a hard time seeing the steam funnel if the background is white. Like, I want to grab a lid and hold it behind it without burning myself again. Not quite there.
And it's Pepsi, guys. It's 9:18, and now I'm going to have my first alcoholic adult beverage.
Ghost is a good boy.
All right, Japhet has a question. I'm guessing this stuff gets so hot it cooks the food also. Can you hard boil eggs in the jars? Are you canning them?
You can't do eggs. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm the only rebel because I can eggs.
You can do eggs? I was told you couldn't. Does it work?
Yeah, it works.
Well, I'm going to have to try it.
I'm hoping we're getting a funnel.
It is definitely not an FDA approved recipe, but yes, it does work.
I wonder about the FDA stuff. Like, I read up on how they make their the USDA makes their guidelines, and they have such stringent testing. And I think the reasoning behind that is that they don't want to put out guidelines, and then for some reason it goes bad,
Right.
at like their recipes. They say don't alter the recipes, and I'm thinking, if the acid's fine, then for water bathing.
Hey guys.
If you really dig into it, though, the FDA doesn't have time to sit there and test every single recipe. So
it's expensive.
And it's expensive to do the research. So instead of doing the research and doing the pressure can recipes or canning recipes, they just tell you it's not FDA approved.
Like if you understand the reasoning behind everything, like I went and I read about botulism, everything I could, like Clostridium botuli, blah 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 blah, how it works, how it produces that toxin and everything, and then what stops it. And once you understand that, then it's not so hard to make logical conclusions,
Right. Cindy B is saying that she also cans eggs.
I'm sorry, Lady Hammer. My connection's really lagging here for some reason. I can see you backstage, and I've got you pulled up on the screen, but it shows me that you're still loading. Can you guys see her?
I see
Lady
her,
Hammer?
but
I see it pop.
not.
Yeah, I see her canner.
Can you hear
too.
me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Here's my pot. I think I'm ready to take the thingy off.
Yeah, if it's down to 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, just you can slowly start taking the thingy off. It may still have a little bit of pressure, but it won't be much.
We are almost a steady funnel. Almost.
Oh, no pressure. It came off.
Cool. Yeah, just let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then you can open it up and pull the stuff out.
Backwoods
10 minutes?
just popped in. Hello.
Hey, Backwoods. Backwoods gave you a super chat, Ghost.
What? Thanks, brother. I appreciate that.
Hey, buddy.
I wonder why I can't see any of it.
Is he in his she shed still?
Did
Probably.
you accidentally click in on the private chat instead of on the regular comment?
No, I'm in the comment section, but it's not. My thing's just going super slow is all.
Yeah.
Mine is taking forever.
It's like even the tags that I'm pulling up, I'm trying to take them down, and they're just lagging. Harvest Mary Moon, I think we're going to do butter next. We're going to make some ghee, some clarified butter. Some ghee.
What is ghee?
Say
Clarified butter. Butter.
You're taking
Clarified
the
butter.
fats out of the butter. You're taking the fats out of the butter, the fat solids.
Oh, so you
The
just
milk
buy butter
solids.
at the store or what?
Yeah, you buy it and then you melt it down and you take the, you let it cook for a while, don't you? And you take the solids out of it.
You let it go for a while on really, really low heat, and all the milk solids will settle out of it, and it'll clarify.
Okay.
Like that
cool.
up there.
Ooh, that looks like some good butter. That's some good butter.
Butter.
Yes.
That was from my cow.
What? That's some good butter.
Ghee is better butter.
It smells like popcorn to me. Does it smell like that to you guys? Like
Yeah.
old
Yes.
school movie popcorn.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Got a steady funnel.
So good.
Yay!
though.
Finally. Nina from Discover Sustainable says fry with it and it doesn't turn brown. Yeah, because what normally turns brown is the solids that get burned, and those solids aren't in there. So it can handle a lot higher temperature than just regular butter, can't it?
I see now. Now I see the super chat. The super chat just hit my end. Thanks, Backwoods. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, this thing, I'm really lagging. So if it kicks me off for some reason, y'all hang tight. I'll just switch over to my phone.
Okay, we're here. We'll be here.
Hey, have y'all ever used the solids like at the end when you're making the ghee and you've got the solids on the bottom? Have you ever used them for anything? Because I saved them and then I forgot about it and it sat in the fridge for like 3 weeks.
I've never canned butter. It'll be my first time when we do it here live. I've never done it before.
Yeah, I've I've never made ghee, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I've never saved it for anything.
Well, I know. I
I thought
think Rudy said something about doing something with it, like bacon or something. He made something out of it, and there's a couple people that I've heard do something with it. They use it in their cooking.
I thought about it and like in a pan of green beans, like in a skillet, maybe throwing that in.
Yeah.
That'd be tasty.
Ghost
Chop up some
Sandra is
garlic.
saying, Sandra has a canning question here. Steam is coming out of the cover lock, but now not quite out of the vent yet. Is that normal?
The only place steam should be coming out is out of the vent. If it's coming out of your connection or your lid, you've got a bad seal. And if that's what's happening, you need to go ahead and turn the heat off and let it come back down to 0. Take the lid off and see if you can figure out why it's not sealing. But I wouldn't attempt to pressure anything in there if you don't have a good seal.
Yeah,
You can feed the whey can't you feed the whey to your hogs or chickens or something like that?
I don't know.
I've never raised chickens, so I don't know, but I know you could feed it to your hogs.
What, the solids?
Yeah.
Gosh, they'll eat anything.
Well, the solids isn't the same thing as whey.
Okay. Somebody said that the whey is what's left over, is what Stephanie said.
Not when you're
Curds
cooking
and whey.
Okay. Never done it, so I don't know.
So does it taste like way better than butter? Or?
It tastes like the popcorn butter.
Yeah, it doesn't have, like, in my opinion, I mean, it's good, but it's not the same as butter. But it stores
Yeah,
longer.
it's a different flavor.
That's the nice thing. Nice setup. Is that Lady Hammer on the bottom, yeah?
Yeah.
I can't.
I have to be a
Yeah,
rebel. Me or Milkmaid has to be a rebel. LJT Mini Homestead.
Wait, what?
LJT Mini Homestead said at Tasha, sometimes you have to be a rebel. Use your own judgment. There you go. I'm bad to the bone. I'm a rebel.
Oh, gosh.
I know, I'm a dork. Sorry.
And you can get a lot of other good recipes and tips from the National Center for Home Food Preservation. It's a website, and you can pretty much find everything on there. Like literally, it's an awesome website. It's the National Center for Home Food Preservation.
That's awesome. And you can also typically contact your county extension.
Yeah.
Your county extension office as well, and they can help you a lot with that as well.
If you can get a hold of them, I've been trying for a while now.
Yeah, that's been a little rough around here too. I think a lot of that stuff has kind of fallen by the wayside here lately.
I think my county extension people are stupid.
Sometimes.
They may very well be, Lady Hammer.
I mean, I know them personally, and they're kind of stupid.
This gonna sound bad, but like, as at the farm, I don't really go to the farmers market that often because I just try to grow it, and it seems like it's one of those, like, at least the one in the county that I'm in is set up by all the rich people that moved in, so they're all like pretty with their coffee and their dogs and all that fun stuff. So, I started talking to one of the people at the Master Gardeners, and I was talking to them, and all they wanted to do was flowers, like no food. It makes no sense.
You need flowers.
I mean, flowers are good. I grow flowers, but
What? Backwoods got a Berkey?
Nice. Lady Hammer, how long did you pressure can your stuff for?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zane is wondering how you got it finished more quickly than the others.
Who, me? Or oh
Lady
no,
Hammer.
she
No, Lady Hammer.
started way before we did.
Oh, she did? Oh, okay. She started before us.
Susanna. But
She couldn't wait. She couldn't wait. She just got excited and just she's like, whatever. I'm starting right now.
Who said?
I was just looking at my
Savannah
funnel
says
and
she has
it's breaking
16
up.
boxes of butter. Oh, sorry.
Do
Huh?
what?
Milkmaid.
I'm
What was
gonna.
that?
Oh, nothing.
Y'all, I have a lag here, so if I'm interrupting somebody, it's not intentional. Like, I'll be talking and then somebody else will start talking, and I know you're not intentionally talking over me either. It's just a lag.
I'm gonna drop off of my computer and just switch to my phone and then come back in and see if it clears up.
Okay.
Hello, Leslie.
Hey, Leslie.
Yeah, Backwoods scored a Berkey.
Somebody in the chat's asking if anybody has Virginia's contact information to see if she's okay. They're worried about her.
Yeah,
Virginia,
she's
if you hear us, are you okay?
muted hers, but I tried to unmute it, but it won't let me unmute her mic. Virginia Roots, I am the beta test, LOL.
Oh, okay. Bella said she just checked in. She's good.
Okay, there she is. Sure.
Good.
Beta test.
So are we for sure? Do what?
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. She wrote up above. Good.
Oh, one more minute.
Woo!
Okay, did that speed it up any?
Top.
Can y'all hear me?
We hear you. We see you.
All right, cool. Is that connection any better?
I think so.
I don't know. Say some more.
Yeah, it's working faster on my phone for sure.
Yeah.
See, that's why I won't do my laptop. As much as I want to see the chat, like, I'd have to run the laptop off of my phone's Wi-Fi. We're supposedly getting good internet here soon.
Good night, Q. Hope your headache gets better. Mawberry, I don't know. I've never done it. I just got my strawberries going this year in my big water tank that's rusted out at the bottom. So I don't know. Does anyone know if you can train strawberries up a trellis versus growing all over the garden and ground?
I've never done anything with strawberries.
I know there's videos on YouTube of people doing it. I've tried it and I wasn't successful at it, but other people have been.
I missed it. Strawberries what?
Can you get strawberries to grow up a trellis? Is it easier or is it easier growing all over the garden and the ground?
In the ground. I mean, it doesn't. I don't think they go up something. They don't vine.
Yeah.
If they can last the first year, though, they become like weeds.
That was my fault. Sorry.
Laura says, Mawberry, the vines usually aren't strong enough. Mine have always broke. So that may answer your question there. I'm doing mine in a big, like, watering tank that the bottom rusted out. So I have rust holes all on the bottom, and I just filled it with dirt and, amended it with all kinds of stuff in there. And they're just now bouncing back after transplanting them from containers into that. And they're doing real good, and I'm starting to get strawberries on there now. So they look real healthy now, finally.
See, I planted a whole bunch of strawberries. I planted 150 bare roots, right, last year. And the deer came and nipped off all the tops. And I was like twice. They came back again to get the regrowth. And I thought I wasn't going to have any strawberries and was really ticked off, you know. But they came back, and unfortunately, though, like where I put them, I didn't realize there was crabgrass next to it, or whatever people call it, but the one that has the rhizomes and has a seed and that stuff. I mean, it's just like a spider web of.
Yeah.
That's air conditioning.
You can't weed it without disturbing the roots of all your plants.
Yeah, it's really difficult. You almost need like a barrier there to keep those roots from going into whatever you're growing. Yeah, I told my husband we're going to have to till around my garden because some of the grass that's out there is trying to invade into my garden space. I'm like, nope, we're not having that. We're going to have to till, get that back out of the way.
Yeah.
Put something there to keep it from spreading.
Like a moat around your garden.
Something.
Right? Medieval gardening.
Backwood. I had to drop off and come back on, so I lost all the chat. So if I missed anything, I apologize.
I think you're good. DH says I grow my strawberries in containers and they come back every year. Yeah, that's what I plan on doing with that big water trough that I have. Is that way it can just come back every year, and I can just amend the soil in there and put some food down for it or whatever.
Yeah. They're less fortunate, man.
Independent Minnie says, "Hey, it goes."
Yeah, it's still lagging a little bit, but I can at least this way I can see if people are in the back room wanting to come in, and I can see some of the comments on my phone. It's just so small you can't really see the comment.
Yeah. Like zoom it.
So I need to give you guys a warning. If you hear a bunch of screaming and I run out the front door, we're okay. The hogs are out right now. My husband's trying to chase them down. So
okay.
The hogs are out. Yeah, there goes the garden.
Yeah.
Harvest Mary Moon says if you can't get grass to grow, plant a garden. There you go. That's right.
Yep.
Never fails.
Or if you can get grass to grow, rip it out and plant a garden.
Yeah.
Taking forever to come up to pressure.
Oh, that's good to know, Backwoods. Backwoods and Prepping says climbing strawberries are an ever-bearing variety that produces crop in the spring, summer, and again fall. However, because of the longer vines, ground planting climbing strawberries require a trellis to keep the fruit and foliage off of the ground. Thank you for that. Did not know that.
I didn't either. All mine are June bearing, though. Although it's May and they're...
Mine are all ever bearing, and I've tried to get them to climb trellises, and they won't.
They just being stubborn, Jess.
Yeah.
I said, nope, I'm not doing it for you. You can't make me.
I think my kids ate all the strawberries we picked today.
Oh, no. My tomatoes that I planted and my strawberries are finally all starting to produce. The strawberries are producing fruit, and oh no, Lady Hammer lost Wi-Fi. My strawberries are starting to produce fruit, and my tomatoes that I planted from seed are finally starting to get some blooms on there.
Yeah, all my tomato starts and pepper starts died for some reason. Like, I think it was a medium. So, but the funny thing was, and I did a video on it, I went out in my garden because where I put my garden was where we had the pigs last year. and any excess or rotted whatever tomatoes I'd throw in there. They love those things.
Mhm.
But I went out into the garden, and all of a sudden I found all of these, 6-8 inch tall tomato plants growing all over. So I just transplanted them over to the row that I
Yep,
wanted.
there you go. That works.
I was like, if it ends up being a cherry, I'll just rip it out and whatever's, a paste tomato or a slicer.
Y'all want to see? I want to see my garden.
Yeah. Virginia or Lady Hammer wants to know if she can come back up for a minute.
I don't know if I can do more than 6. I'll try.
If I need to drop out, I can.
I was going to say the same thing. Like, if she wants to come up here, I could pop out.
Yeah, let me pop off because I'm not canning.
Okay.
So I'll pop back a little bit.
Well, my canning's kind of boring. Like, I'm not even jiggling yet, right? We're almost to 10. We're at 8. I bet you check.
Do I need to send the link again?
Just all multitasking over there. Cannon, Lincoln.
Thanks, Emily.
Hey, guess. Why didn't Emily come up here?
I don't know.
She oughta.
Well, I know at the time we started, that's her be in the yard, take care of the horses and chickens. Chore time.
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, mine are out and done.
Nice.
Nice.
Sweet.
There you
Looks
go.
good. Looks good.
Did they already pop?
They're already all popped. Yeah, they were just popping. And my
Nice.
juice, let me show you. I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of, not bad, but
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
okay, so they're good?
Yeah, they look great.
They look awesome.
As long as they all seal, you're good to go.
Yeah, they all popped when I took them out.
You're good to go. Let them
Cool.
sit right there on the counter for 24 hours, and then take the rings off. Make some soapy water. Wash the outside of the jars real good, especially the threads, and let them dry and put them away.
That's the best noise in the world is to hear those pings.
I know. They pop pretty fast too.
Good job, Lady
Yeah.
Hammer.
Did awesome. Did awesome.
What I did though, I cooked my beans first, like I always do. And 'cause I put ham and rotel and all that good stuff in there.
I wanted
But
to.
yeah.
I meant to.
Yeah, they're
Looks
still
good.
moving around.
Oh yeah, they'll bubble for another couple hours at least.
Cool. And we started them outside on the back porch on the what do you call it, the propane thingy.
Yeah.
But we couldn't get them down to temperature. I mean, we had to move the thing in the house because it was getting on up to like 13, 14, and we just had to like rush it in here to the house.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful with that fire.
Yeah. And because we turned it down as low as it would go, and then I don't know, every time you walk by it'd blow the fire out.
Right.
Hey, there's a steaming now. Hey, Ghost, are you on your computer or on your phone now?
Both?
Oh, you're still on both of them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you are. Okay, never mind.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get down now so she can come back up.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for showing it.
I'm still listening.
Bye, Lady Hannah.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Lady Hammer.
Emily sent you a message, Joe, so I don't know if you can access that now or not. But
What was her message?
I don't know. She didn't
I
tell
mean,
me that.
well, if it was on a text, I can't access it because I'm live on my phone. I mean, I can try, I guess.
We got jiggles, y'all.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, I'm gonna put this on the big screen for me, and then I'm gonna go show you guys my garden. Which one's solo? That would be this one. Well, I obviously did the wrong one. Okay, now.
Enough of it, guys.
Hey, you guys, I'll be back. I gotta go run outside.
I can't hear you guys. Why is everybody muted?
We getting a garden tour?
Yeah,
Heck yes.
I just did it. All right, Jess is muted. Yeah, we did a quick garden tour while waiting on
I'm
the beans.
sorry I missed it.
I'm gonna do I'll do an update video tomorrow. I don't know
Okay.
if you guys could even see it. It was kind of dark out there.
I've been distracted. I moved it up to the kitchen so I could mess with the lid, and I've got pressure building up again. So yeah, again, and it's not coming out the side. Who has echo?
Yeah, a little one.
Is it me?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Sorry, y'all. For some reason, it dropped
Sometimes
out.
there's like Sometimes there's like an initial echo whenever you add somebody to the stream, and it drops off like really quick. I noticed that last night.
Okay.
Thank you, Moonlight Gypsy. Yeah, my tomatoes that I planted in the soil with the rabbit manure are exploding. Like, they're twice as big as the other ones.
That's awesome. I'm sorry I missed it. I'll watch your video though for sure.
Yeah, I'll put one up tomorrow. But the ones that I put in the hydroponic solution, they initially got their butt whooped. They were looking rough day one and day two, and now they're starting to bounce back.
Well, I have about 5 minutes before I know if my pressure is built. So if you want to see my potato update,
Yeah.
Here they are. They're just
looking good.
Yeah. And there's the other one. And the one that I showed you guys that was only a couple of days old, I think I showed you about a week ago, is now, it's coming up pretty good. And there's more here.
Cool.
And the other one that I showed that was like 2 weeks old or 3 weeks old, this is it now. And it's looking really good. And also my my sweet potatoes are finally starting to vine, which is so freaking exciting. So they're starting to get their little vines in, and I'll probably hill those up. I've got 3 containers of sweet potatoes, so I'll probably hill those up and see what happens there. But oh, and I had some bean sprout, and I don't know what to do with them because I forgot what kind of beans they are.
Let them grow. You'll know in the end.
You know, pretty much.
Moonlight Gypsy says she put rabbit poop on her watermelons, and they're going crazy. Yeah, so far I'm really impressed with the rabbit manure. That stuff.
I wish I had access to some because I would love to be able to get that thrown out there. My peppers are just not wanting to just like really grow very quickly. They're just still staying pretty small out there. Hey, Hutch.
My peppers won't pop. I've tried like 3 rounds of pepper seeds and none of them will pop at all.
Really?
Yeah. I might be in too cold of a spot, but I tried to do it in an indoor grow room and it still wouldn't pop. So
Buddy's tripping out. He's like, Dad, why are we in here in the kitchen and why am I laying on this hard floor? I'm used to laying on the bed while you're online talking to people. He's usually laid up on the bed with his head on my pillow just staring at me while I'm online, and now he's in here looking at me like, wow, what's going on, man? Why are we in the kitchen?
Dad, this is not our normal routine, Dad.
Yeah, right. He's all about his routines. He's all about his routines.
Yeah. My dog is over here on her little pallet. Let me see if I can get her.
Hey, Hutch.
She's over there snoring.
Hutch.
Pretty.
Hey, did y'all break up just now, or was it just me?
I think it was just you.
It's probably
I'm all good on my end.
Are you up to pressure yet, Milkmaid?
Yep. I put my little jiggler on. I did the jiggle dance, but...
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, you got to do it again since we missed it.
Okay.
It's a requirement. It's a requirement.
LJT Mini Homestead says, Ghost, I want an American canner, but I'm afraid it'll crack my flat top stove. What size do I have? I have a 921. It holds 7 quarts at a time or 16 pints. And all I've ever canned on is a glass top stove. I'm just really easy. I don't slide it. I sit it down, and I'm just real careful with it. And I haven't had any problems at all.
I think the whole like canner on top of a glass stove thing has to do with if it has like a concave bottom.
Right.
And all Americans don't.
Yeah, they're flat.
Yeah, because there's something about the temperature buildup underneath a concave bottom. So if you don't have that, I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Great point.
What you got, BA?
All right, so I know I'm going to be behind everybody and might not even be able to show my beans, but I moved and I don't have the jiggler on yet, but I've got a lot of steam and I no longer have a leak. And without the jiggler, I'm at like 3 or 4 PSI. Without it, is that normal?
Yeah, mine usually, I usually put my jiggler on, I'm right about 5 PSI. That's about how it is with mine. I get a full blast of steam at 5 PSI. So if it's blowing steady at the same amount of temperature and you got a good stream going, then you're good.
Yeah, I do. It's steady. It's been holding it like this, right under 5 for several minutes. I have a steady stream and I have no leaks.
Yeah, you're good then. I'd go ahead and put the weight on. If it's been holding steady, you're good.
All right.
All right.
Just remember, once you put that weight on there, do not touch it again until you're finished.
Jiggle dance.
And then
Right.
something else you probably want to do, Virginia, with that weight, do what I did with mine. I got me a piece of paracord and I tied it to my handle.
Oh, okay. So when I pull it off, I don't burn myself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you real quick. See that?
Yes.
Just got it tied to it.
Smart.
And you'll notice, and that way you don't ever accidentally sit it on the wrong setting, because there's a hole for you to tie the string to directly opposite to the 10 PSI mark. So if you always grab it by the rope, you'll always have the right pressure on your thing.
Okay. And a follow-up question. So I want to get to 10 PSI and then adjust the heat to where it stays at 10 PSI and then time my 70 minutes from there.
What you want to do, let it go. Your gauge might show 10, but your jiggler might not be making any noise. The gauge is just a reference. Once your jiggler starts dancing, then you start lowering your temperature. And what you want to do is try to get it to make a jiggle sound about 3, 4, maybe 5 times a minute. So you're going to constantly have to be lowering your temperature. Right now, I'm almost on low on my stove.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'm still at like a medium high, but.
You got jiggle?
No jiggle, but I'm building up it's almost at 10 PSI now that I put that on.
Yeah, it won't take long.
Okay.
We're going to be here for your first jiggle.
That is so nice. How thoughtful, guys. This is the coolest menage a trois I've ever been to.
And you got to do the jiggle dance, just like Milkmaid did.
I don't know if I'll be doing any of that. The men seem to have that down,
They know how to jiggle.
So you're doing pintos as well, right, Virginia?
I'm doing kidney and pinto. I'm doing 2 different beans.
Gotcha.
And I just got jigglage. So with that jiggling at a pretty steady rate, that's a good thing. And
yeah,
I'm holding steady at 10 PSI on the gauge.
Yeah, it'll start rocking and rolling, that jiggler wheel, and wait for a good jiggle. Once it really starts jiggling good, then just start slowly backing down your heat.
Okay. All right, will do. I'm going to mute off for a second because this is really loud behind me. I'll be back.
Yeah. From what I understand, like, too much jiggling is not bad, but too little jiggling.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
You don't want it. You don't want it to go like 4 or 5 minutes without jiggling, because it's probably dropping below 10 PSI and then building back up. Like I was always told, 3 to 5 times a minute is where you want to keep it. Uh-oh. You got jigglage. Discover sustainability. You got jigglage.
Uh-oh. Now she's
Did you get the hogs? Did you get the hogs back in, Jess?
We got all of them in but one, the 600-pound hog. He's gone. So my husband went to drive up the road and see if it's up at the neighbor.
Oh, no.
I'm looking at all my local area Facebook walls to make sure nobody found a hog in their backyard.
Mine too. Mine too.
I can't believe mine's actually hanging in here pretty decent tonight on the Wi-Fi. I'm gonna run a cable in here.
Yeah. Considering you've got two different windows open, you know, for you.
Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, Virginia Roots, you're probably going to get the participation trophy for tonight since you brought an ancient canner here. Had a problem, troubleshot it, and made it work.
Thank you.
But you didn't give up. You stuck
I'm gonna-
with it, girl.
Well, I mean, that's why I wanted to
gonna-
participate, was to, you know, because I'm on a learning curve, not only being inexperienced, but using an ancient machine. So, but I feel like, okay, so this thing is giggling like nobody's business. So I need to, and it's kind of solid at 10 PSI. So I need to reduce that a little bit.
Yeah, you just want to turn the heat down on your stove, and you want to reduce it and get it to jiggle 3 to 5 times a minute. I mean,
Okay.
even if it jiggles more than that, it's really not a bad thing. EMT actually put it in the chat. It's really not a bad thing. It just shows that you're expelling more water and steam than is really necessary. So that's why you want to really make sure you get enough water in there.
Okay.
I fell asleep when I was scanning before, and it was rocking and rolling solid. I thought I ruined it, and it was fine. It just used up all the water.
Right. I mean, that's the stage I'm at. Like, this is not every 3 to 5 minutes. It's constant, but it's barely holding the 10 PSI.
Don't trust the gauge. Trust the weight. Your gauge could be miscalibrated. Mine is. Mine's showing almost 12 PSI, but it's at 10.
Ghost Jennifer E. Wilson says, doing a live canning video is a great idea, but it was very difficult to hear people talking while others were scooping beans into jars or bowls.
Yeah, that's why we went over all the steps. That's why we did over all the steps before we actually went over there and made the noise. We talked about exactly what we were going to do, then we just went and done it.
Yeah, we knew that some portions of this were going to be noisy and it was going to be kind of hard to hear. But it was just the fact that if there was somebody that did have questions while we were live canning, we could get those pointed out and addressed immediately so that those that are especially new to canning could go ahead and get this under their belt, you know, their first canning session under their belt.
How's it going, Milkmaid?
Sorry, Mike. Internet issues. Can't wait to have good internet.
Jennifer says, I think it would have been better if you had only 2 people canning and of just 1 or 2 others adding tips and explanations.
Maybe so, but we just kind of want to have a party and have fun with it. This is our first time.
Hey, I gotta say, I have an idea for what award Virginia Roots should get. The Tenacity Award. Because she's sticking with it, man. She didn't give up.
No, I ain't giving up. No,
she's
ma'am.
I agree.
She's like one of those pit crew mechanic guys in NASCAR, man. She just yanked the car behind the wall, pulled the tires off, dropped the axle, put it back together, and put it back out on the track. She's a couple laps behind, but she's catching up.
I did actually use garage tools to make this happen, people.
Yeah. I personally loved this live stream, even with all the noise myself. I don't know about everybody else, but it didn't bother me at all for people to be putting beans in their jars and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh no, Jennifer. When nobody's saying that you were mean, I mean, I appreciate the input, and I know they do too. But this was just kind of off the cuff thing we decided to do last week, and just pull people up here and can live together and watch the mistakes and hopefully, you know, like it's like with Virginia, you know, if she wasn't on camera, we wouldn't have known what was going on. She would have had to, you know, tell us later. But, you know, we're doing our best to try not to talk over people and get it, you know, but we'll work the kinks out.
Yeah. I think this is a really good inaugural event because I made mistakes. I didn't know what I was doing. And I have no doubt there's people in the in the chat that are learning something from everybody up here. So yeah, so then I'm sure the noise was overwhelming, but we'll work out the kinks. I can't wait for the ghee. I've got a bunch of butter to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Jennifer. And no one took it as some kind of a jab at us or whatever.
No.
You're always welcome here. We didn't take any offense to it. We appreciate the feedback.
Thank you, Wendy.
Yeah.
On
On our end,
you get a pressure canner, not a pressure cooker. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't know if there's that bean noise, or so you letting us know that is awesome, because we can't hear what all of you are hearing, you know. And plus, we have a little bit of a time delay with the stream. We're a couple of seconds behind, so it can be difficult to gauge what everyone is experiencing. But thank you very much for the feedback.
But I am going to do individual videos every time I can from now on. You know, because before, when I started my channel, I already had all my stuff canned. I didn't have any empty jars. I'm like, I can show you what I have canned and tell you how I did it, but I can't really show you until I get some more jars and have something to can. But I stored a few cases of jars. Do what?
I was telling Milkmaid to get her booty back up here. It's all right if you keep popping out. It's all good.
Yeah.
We don't mind.
Get up.
Okay. I think I'm pretty good. The gauge, it's a brand new gauge that I put on, so I'm hoping it's calibrated, but it's steady at 10. And my jiggler is, it's pretty much constantly going, but it's not going over aggressively. It's just jiggling. Yeah,
just if it's constantly jiggling, you can go ahead and turn your heat down, because what you're going to find is the longer it sits on the stove, that aluminum holds that heat, and it builds, it keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter.
Okay.
So you're going to want to turn it down, or it's just going to keep climbing.
Okay.
True, Jennifer. Jennifer says, I'm glad I did not hurt anyone's feelings. I really appreciate that you're teaching skills that most people did not learn growing up, the skills that have been lost with modern conveniences.
Yep.
Amen, Jennifer.
That's why we're doing this, because, you know, there are some of our generations that had people that taught us, and some of us didn't, a lot of us didn't grow up with that. And so it's wonderful to learn these skills and to keep this going and learn how to be more self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, myself, I'm being selfish. I'm just doing it because I get to hang out with a room full of girls all night.
Yeah, that's true. You do have a pack of 4. Wow. What a selfish man. Okay, so
Look
now
at that grin on his face.
All right, so the jiggler is less aggressive, and it'll completely stop for like 3, 4, 5 seconds. So I'm good, right?
That's fine.
It'll
Perfectly
it'll
fine.
go back again, but
yeah.
Okay.
Like I'll show you the cycle on mine just stopped jiggling, and I'll tell you when it starts again.
Okay.
It's completely silent right now. It's still silent. Still silent. But I can hear it's venting a little bit, but it's not jiggling.
What did you hold up, Milkmaid? I didn't see it.
I think it's a sign that just said her internet sucks.
Oh, still. It's all good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, now I'm jiggling again. It was about 20, 25, 30 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, I've got 0 jiggle, but I'm waiting to time it out. It's only been about 10 seconds.
Oh, she's back out again. Bless her heart. Aussie Mom, yeah, Ghost has the All-American canner, and I think Virginia has one as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then, Jess, you had what kind again?
I have a mirror.
A mirror?
Mm-hmm.
Virginia actually has the very first canner that came off the assembly line from All-American.
I do?
Ever made.
I didn't know that. I couldn't find it. I searched for the model because it does not have a serial number, and I was looking everywhere. The closest I found was the 915.
I was making that up. I was just making a joke.
Come on.
Saying how old your canner is.
I thought he was serious
That's
too,
not
Virginia.
fair.
It's okay.
You know I'm
It doesn't
gullible.
right over.
Yeah, no, yours is so old. It's legitimately the very first one that was ever produced.
Yeah.
The serial
Yeah.
number on the bottom is like 001.
Yeah, 0001.
Nina got the All-American in the
A.
breakup. Way to go, Nina.
Well, it was
What'd you
kind of
do?
my point of getting one that was tried and true. You know, I did some research on what brands and models and whatever, and it seemed to me, everyone said, well, if you have one of these, it's going to last you 120 years. So I don't care that it's 30 or 40 years old. I'm just trying to keep my eyebrows today.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, milkmaid, if you hit your limit. But, well, then you definitely got to make sure you take pictures and, show them to us.
You'll have to jump on his next live stream and show him off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it was Lady Hammer that showed hers earlier, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. Those were awesome. I saw it. Yeah.
She did a beautiful job. She really did. They looked wonderful.
Oh.
All right. I'm at the jiggling every 20 seconds point. I feel really good about that.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you can just hold it right there for the next hour and a half, you're good.
I'll be with Milkmaid showing the update because we're evidently, I don't know if we'll still be on by the time I get done, but
I don't have
I'm
anything
trying,
else.
darn it.
I don't have any other plans, sweetheart. I got nowhere to go, nowhere to be.
How much
Good,
time
me
do you have
neither.
left, Ghost? How much time do
10
you have
minutes.
left? Okay.
10 minutes. I'm at 10 minutes.
All right, I'm going to set a timer. I will be right back, everybody.
Okay.
10-4. Jennifer, you're so welcome. I have a Presto, and I mean, it's not as expensive, but I like it. It works good for me. Mouse Toast uses a Presto, and she does just fine with it. So, get what fits within your budget. Don't think that you have to have a $250 or $350, $450 All-American. You can start with a Presto if you want. They're good canners and they last.
Yeah. You can get them at Walmart right now for $78, brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I had a Presto. I'd be running 2 loads right now instead of 1. I'm actually thinking about getting another one.
Yeah, I was hitting people up on my Facebook. Look, if you or a family member has a canner that you no longer use, let me know. Because I could have 2 going at once. The life expectancy on the cans, on canned goods, I mean, they deteriorate the longer they're with texture and some nutrients, the longer they've been in the jar. But life expectancy, I mean, you're not going to die from it as long as it's been properly canned and it stays sealed. You're good.
Thanks, LJT. That's an awesome comment. I appreciate that. He says, I know how to can. This was interesting to see each person's issues different from the other people's canning videos. Great learning curve. Learned a bit more than I knew. Awesome. That's why we're here.
Exactly.
It sucks Milkmaid got booted.
I think BH had said a while ago that he scored a bunch of vintage, or he or she scored a bunch of vintage jars. Just remember to check those jars before you use them. Make sure that the edges, the rims, don't have any nicks in them. Make sure they're not scratched up or anything like that, the jars, because those weak areas can break. And also with the rims, if there's a crack in it, it won't necessarily seal properly. So just inspect your jars thoroughly after you wash them.
And you don't ever want to use any kind of metal cookware, silverware, anything like that in a canning jar. Always use wood or plastic, or just shake the contents out by hand. when you have a dirty jar, you don't just put it in the sink and let it pile up with the dishes and then wash everything together. I keep all mine separate. Whenever I empty one out, I wash it immediately and put it away. Because if you have a minute scratch on the inside or outside of a jar and you put it through the high pressure canning, it'll explode in your canner. That's happened to me once. I had one that just exploded, spaghetti everywhere, but it was all contained inside the canner. And I'm pretty sure it was because it was washed in the sink.
Teresa said that she bought her daughter a canner and now she can just use it whenever she wants. She can borrow it to do too.
I'm sorry, Milkmaid.
Oh, poor Milkmaid.
Aw.
Discover Sustainable Nina says, per Mouse Toes, canning jars are holy vessels. That's right.
Oh, yeah. You should be about done, aren't you, Jess?
Yeah. I've just got 2 more minutes left on it.
Okay, I got 6.
We got the hog back. It was on the road, and some idiot tried to hit me with his truck. So my husband's on the road with his flashlight trying to get the hog off the road, and I've got my flashlight trying to slow the guy down, letting him know we're on the road. No, he comes right up to me, almost hits me with his truck. Doesn't even slow down.
Damn.
So I asked Emily, because I didn't have a chance to mute it on here. So I'm out there cussing. I'm like, you guys, could you hear me? And she was like, no, we couldn't hear you. I was out there cussing up the storm, yelling at the pig. And
Hey, CB's daughter, welcome to the room.
Hey, CB's.
Hello.
And the other, Keto Homestead with Jess is the other one on the panel. And then Virginia Roots is, she's behind stage right now, but she's got her window up here.
Yeah, Milkmaid, just make sure you take a whole bunch of pictures or even a small little video of the process, and then you can pop on tomorrow night because I'll be live with Backwoods and Prepping over on his channel tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Just hop on there and I'll pull you up, or Backwoods will pull you up on the panel, and you can show us your accomplishments tomorrow.
Yes, I'm anxious to see. Hey, Klingon Princess.
Klingon, what's going on? Getting close. Only about another 45 minutes or so, and I'll be able to see what I did. It's like every time I take the lid off, it's exciting. Even though I know what I put in, it's still cool.
I know, isn't it? It just feels like accomplishment every time. It's just happy feeling.
Yep. What's up, Pearl Tiger? Yeah, it's Daddy Ghost. I thought my son was going to pop in here, but he didn't. Yeah. I tried to reach out to Monograph. That was funny.
Klingon.
That was so funny that night.
Dean Molas asks, one thing I have always questioned, older canned goods lose nutrients. Where do the nutrients go in a sealed jar?
They just deteriorate. I mean, they just deteriorate. They decay into different sugars and things like that. They just deteriorate.
They go into nutrient heaven.
Yeah.
Right.
They have a little funeral for each other as they begin to pass.
Also, I saw a comment a little bit ago about the learning curve. I'm kind of up and down. The computer's not in the room, it's the kitchen. I can't see comments here. But anyway, whoever pointed that out, I completely agree. I think that if all of us had come up here and done it seamlessly and nothing went wrong, we all look like experts, then, not as many would have learned. So I appreciate that learning curve comment. It's actually a pretty sweet compliment. Because I think Ghost is trying to do something. At the end of the day, he's trying to teach people. And I mean, I'm here for it. We're all learning. So that's awesome.
I'm learning at the same time. I've never done this process before. So this is new to me. So we're all learning.
This is fun. Hey, Fish Sticks.
Moonlight Gypsy says, Ghost, what were you talking about? Scratching the pan? Not the pan. I was talking about the jars, the canning jars. You don't ever want to use metal utensils in a canning jar, because if you get a minute scratch in the glass and then you put it in a canning cycle with that extreme pressure, it can make your jars explode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Teresa, I've made soap before. I used to do decorative soap and sell it. But yeah, I've made soap, ghost milk soap, and all kinds of stuff like that.
We're gonna.
I didn't know that about the metal. That's a good tip about the metal. I didn't know that.
Yeah, always use wood or plastic. Backwood says we're going to prep people's minds tomorrow night. I'm going to tell you some deep thoughts. That's scary in itself.
About how long does it take for you to can one batch of quart jars, Ghost?
Well, right now we're at 2 hours and 20 minutes, but we actually talked for a while. I'm like about 10 seconds away from being finished with this batch. But I still got to wait for it to come back down to zero pressure and then take them out. So it's about 3 hours total time, approximately.
Start to finish. You don't have to be sitting there babysitting it the whole time.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, you remember last week I was canning chicken and talking to you guys all night long.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all out there, those that have not canned before, do you feel like more like it's something you feel like you can do now, even if you didn't can with us? Do you feel like it's something more doable and it's not so scary? Jennifer, I agree.
While we wait for people in chat to answer that, I'm less scared now. I mean, I came out here with a propane burner and something I've never used before. I mean, I've used the propane burner before, but as far as being scared in the future, no. I mean, so much troubleshooting happened today. I think it's an utter success, even if my beans do blow up.
I agree. Oh, his timer just went off, y'all.
All right, now once you hit the 1.5 hour mark and your timer goes off, all you do is turn the heat off to the burner and you just leave it alone. You don't touch the weighted gauge at all. You don't want to rapidly decompress the canner, because then you'll lose all your stuff. Just let it sit, and it takes about 1/2 hour to come back to zero, and then you can take your gauge off and then you can check out your food.
Excellent.
Just a reminder, ghosts can still be demonetized if you use curse words in the side chat as well. So just remember that.
Please. I'm the one that has the hardest time with it. I have to think about what I'm going to say before I say it, because I have a potty mouth.
Yeah, for sure.
But if Virginia can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
If I can do it, anybody can do it. Okay, so just saying.
Oh yeah.
Just make your little checklist. If you're afraid you're going to miss a step until it becomes habit, make your little checklist when you're not having somebody there just like prompting you along for each step. Make your checklist, check it off as you do each step so you don't forget anything. That'll help ease your nerves. That sure helped me to make sure I wasn't forgetting something, a vital step in it all. So
that's a great tip, to make a list. I think that's an awesome tip. I've got lists and notes all around me, and it helps keep your mind organized when you're especially if you're trying something new and you need that step by step or just trying to figure it out. So I love that tip.
Yeah, Lady Hammer's got a good one too. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I learned that tip from Mouse Toes whenever I was learning from her. So I can't claim the tip, but I am a list person, so I probably would have done it anyways, because that's just my thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Him at the nut house, thanks for coming in. My beans are just about done. I'm waiting for them to cool off so I can pull them out of the canner.
Jen, thank
Lady
you
Hammer.
again for the stuff that you sent. She sent me starts for sweet potato slips and raspberry starts.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Yep.
Did I see that Susanna finished? Was Susanna canning with us? I missed almost all of chat, but I know she was going to try.
Yeah, I think she was canning with us, but I haven't seen her
Oh,
in the
that's
chat.
great, Susanna.
I think quite a few people were canning with us in the chat.
Cool.
Good.
Susanna, if you ever want to show us anytime that you're ready, I think that'd be really sweet. I'd love to see what you did. We were talking about it for a few days, girl.
Yeah, Lady Hammer says her and her husband got into World War III over leaving the rings on or taking them off on the jars. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't store my jars at all with the rings unless I'm stacking them. And then I'll only put the rings halfway on so the weight is on the threads, not on the seal. The only thing the rings do is hold the lid in place while it's sealing. Once it's sealed, there's no need in having the rings on there. And the rings can actually cause you to get a false seal.
Jennifer's asking questions. She's asking, when you can, do you plan a weekend or a week and plan to just can the entire time to get as much done as you can, or do you do a batch once a week, or what do you all find works best for your life?
Just doing one batch like tonight is a pain in the butt because there's a lot of work involved in it. Like if I was doing 3 or 4 batches, I would start early in the morning. And the thing is that it's going to take you 3 hours to do one batch, but you can legit do 2 batches in like 5 hours and 30 minutes, and you can do 3 batches in like 8 hours. So it's faster if you're stacking batches because your water's already kind of warm, your canner's already kind of warm. If you heat your food up and your jars and you try to get them at that temperature, you cut down the amount of time that you have to wait to bring it to temperature. So I like to just, if I'm going to do canning, I'll get up early on a Saturday morning, like 7 a.m. and I'll start, and I don't stop until I pass out, sometime the next day. I'll do 7 unload, just rock all night long.
But some people like that it doesn't have to be a huge involved process and they can just get something knocked out in 3 hours. Everybody's different and everybody's timetable is different. Not everybody can for hours and hours and hours on end. So yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's just going to be whatever fits into your schedule, and everybody's going to be different, just like with anything else. Your preference is your preference, and my preference is mine. And so I prefer to get at least a couple of batches done, so I feel like I've got a lot of bang for my buck.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is my first time, but it's clearly something that takes 3 hours or more. And if you're going to go ahead and put all that effort in, I would maximize your time and be efficient with it. So even if you're only doing one batch of pressure canning, maximize that batch and do all 7 quarts or whatever your device fits. Maximize that device, and that you'll be able to maximize your time. I could
really,
let you know shortly as far as the future, because it is a time-consuming process,
We are back up to 60.
I will say this, you do actually, because you're canning more than one batch at once, you actually save on fuel because you're not, like if you're really a thrifty person, you're saving on fuel because you're not having to reheat your canner from start, like Ghost was talking about. Things like that. So you're saving fuel. If you think time is money, you're saving time. So, you got to think of it. Like you said, it's maximizing.
It's more efficient to do multiple loads. It's way more efficient to do multiple loads, especially if you're buying food in bulk, I mean, I don't just go to the store and buy 1 2-pound bag of beans. I'm coming home with like 40 or 50 pounds of beans, and I want to put up as much as I can.
Well, I think that's a good point about the fuel. Like some of us use natural gas. Some people might be using wood or doing it outdoors. That's an excellent point, Prep for it, about maximizing your resources as far as what you have to create that heat in the first place.
Yeah, this video is just instructional on, doing a batch just to go through the process. Like legit, I would never start a batch at 8 o'clock at night. I would have started at 6 o'clock this morning. Like right now, I'd be on like my 5th batch.
Yeah. Lady Hammer, if he won't eat them because you take the rings off to store them, well, actually, that's safer because sometimes if you've got a false seal, those rings are holding that seal down and you think it's sealed and it's not, and bacteria is in there growing. So it's actually much, much safer to not store with the rings on.
And don't stack them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I never stack more than 2 high, and even when I do that, I still put the rings back on, but I just put them halfway on to where all the weight is on the threads of the jars, not the lid.
Right.
And I transported all mine, and when I say I have a lot, I mean I have a lot, and I transported them in the back of the U-Haul over 1,000 miles, and I only lost 1 seal.
That's amazing that you only lost 1 seal and all of that.
And
That
they were
really is
stacked,
amazing.
and they were stacked 4 and 5 high cases, and I lost 1 seal. And I mean,
Wow.
that's out of a lot of jars.
Jennifer's asking, do any of you have videos on canning meat? Ghost Prepper, he has meat videos, and I do as well.
I just did chicken last week.
Mm-hmm.
I did chicken, and I did chicken bone broth. I did it last week. Wasn't it last week?
I think it was last week.
Yes. Yeah, it was last week, Ghost. So Jennifer, you can check that out. Ghost has done it. I don't know if Jess has showed it or not. Mouse Toes shows video of her canning meat on her channel too. So
Yeah,
Milkmaid,
I've canned pork and several other different types of meat on my channel.
If I can catch it, I'll can it. I'll can anything. I'll try it. It'll work. I'm gonna do it.
It's the same process. It's the same process. Whether you pre-cook your meat or not, you're still going to put it in there. You're going to put your liquid in to where you're supposed to have it, whatever headspace it's supposed to be. You're going to debubble. Then you're going to clean the rim of your jar, and you're going to set your lid down on it, and then hand tighten, finger tighten just slightly your rings. So it's the same method. You're just going to do it for the amount of time and pressure for your area for canned meat.
Yep.
Hey, is my canner loud?
No.
No. Okay. I've got
Jess,
some
how
chicken
long will
thighs I
canned
cooked up.
chicken? Oh, I'm so sorry. I was not trying to interrupt.
Oh, no, I'm really bad at that. Like, there's that lag.
No, it's the lag. It's definitely not me trying to talk over you. Jeff had a question. How long will canned meat last?
I mean, I can't speak for anybody else on this panel, but I mean, I don't think it ever goes bad. I think the only way that what's in those jars is going to go bad is if that lid deteriorates and goes away. I mean, I've seen people eating stuff out of ball jars that were over 10 years. Bake. I'm comfortable with 10 years minimum.
Yeah. The longest I've ever taken something off my shelf is 2 years, but that's because I'm always rotating out. I'm eating what I actually can too.
Same here.
Yeah. I mean, light might deteriorate the nutritional value some, but as long as that seal's good, it's not going to be bad.
Yeah, as long as the seal's good. Milk funny. I mean, eat it. It might not have all the nutrition, but it's still edible and it still has some nutrition.
Yeah.
Temperature, storing your jars, in a steady temperature, not too hot, not too cold. You don't want your temperature fluctuating a lot. That deteriorates the food more quickly, and light. So that was a great point, Milkmaid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of my canned stuff is I call it my pink room. It's like a storage area that I put, I put a space heater in because it's not part of the house. So I put a space heater in to keep it from going too low. And then I have a window AC unit that I run. That's actually something I kind of stress about because if I don't have electricity, I've got to come up with something better.
Yeah.
Right.
Trying to keep that temperature regulated in there where you store your canned foods.
Yeah, because I had
so bad.
I had hundreds and hundreds of jars canned up when I lived in Florida, and it's always hot down there. So I was having to run the air conditioner when I didn't want to keep it nice and cool. That's the great part about this house I got here. I got a huge basement and a root cellar, so it's like perfect temperature.
I'm envious. So envious.
We have another question in the chat. Is it possible to reuse lids? I personally reuse my lids. Ghost does. I don't know about anybody else.
If
I do.
I inspected it and it looked like it still had plenty, no major wear on it, I would still reuse it.
I mean,
But I'm not recommending anybody else do that. That's my personal thing.
and I mean, if the lid is intact and it's not bent or dented or rusty or the seal isn't deteriorated, I mean, if it'll hold a seal, you'll know if it doesn't hold a seal.
Oh yeah.
It'll go
Like
bubble.
I just look at the rubber, and if it's still like soft and pliable, I use it. But now that's why you just got to be very careful when you open your jars. It's like I have big hands, so my fingers grab it like all the way around, so I don't bend it. And if you got tiny hands or something, use something like a butter knife and turn it to the edge, the back side, the flat side, and you can just kind of rock the lid, and it'll peel it up.
Have y'all ever seen that 1870s homestead?
I have.
Channel? Yeah, she has this really cool old school lid popper. Basically, it's very wide, and when she pops it, it doesn't bend the lid.
Oh, awesome!
Wow. Not about but I mean I've looked for them. I found them on eBay, but people wanted like close to $30 for them. So I don't know.
But it would save you a lot of money if you were in the habit of damaging your lids when you're removing them. So
I just kind of I try to, I grab it kind of like this.
Yeah.
And I just kind of slowly, and then it'll pop.
Yeah, I mean.
Initially, I was just doing it at one spot and pulling, and I was always bending the edge of the lid. So I started, spreading my fingers out and trying to work it off, and it works a lot better that way.
I mean, I got milking girl hands, but I still have a hard time popping seals just with my fingers.
I like that milking girl hand. Yes, Jennifer, there are some reusable lids like. That's funny. There are reusable lids like Tatler lids. That is true.
I've heard mixed reviews on those.
I've never used them, but I reuse my lids simply because it's when I first I'm just now getting worked up to a 3 and a 4 year rotation, but over the past year, I was on like a 6-month rotation, so the lids were practically brand new when I would open them up. But what I would do is if I can something like spaghetti or chili or something like that, I would use those same lids to can another batch of the same thing. So if there was any flavor carryover, which it shouldn't be, that it would be the same. But now if I'd had this lid on a jar for say 4 or 5 years, maybe even 6 years, there's a good chance I wouldn't reuse it because that rubber's only going to last so long. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Dean says if you can, check out U-line lids compared to ball lids. The difference between, sorry, I've got a little crack here on my screen. Between the red seal and the thickness on the U-line lids is impressive. Are those BPA free? I'm like, so you like the U-line lids better? Is that what you're saying?
Are ball lids BPA free?
I hear a jiggle.
I think so. I think the ball and the cur are.
Yeah, they are. They're BPA.
I didn't realize that.
I'm glad you brought that up. I actually did look into that because when I couldn't find lids anywhere, I was looking there, and it wasn't a bad price, but they actually limited how many you could get. Am I breaking up?
No.
Okay. You're good. But one other thing that I saw, because I was looking at ordering them on Amazon, and there are some manufacturers that have really crappy lids, kind of made in China, where people were buying these lids and then they were canning, and they were water bath canning, and they would buckle.
I've seen some of those
bad
reviews.
Quality. That's why I'm normally not a brand name girl. I don't give a crap unless it's something that's truly quality. But when it came to lids, I was like, I'd rather have good lids and
Yeah.
wait or save or spend the money on them than to get something and it just buckles right out of the counter.
Yeah.
I'm just comfortable reusing them as long as they're not, 4 or 5 years old. Once I hit that 4 or 5 year old mark, I'm not going to take a chance because the lids are dirt cheap if you can find them,
Right. That's
Missing.
the
Somebody
issue
did
right
make the
now.
comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're super young, there's no harm in reusing them.
You know what I found?
Mine's done.
Woo! What I found was if I go, like, say to, all right, so a town near us has like 3 or 4 different Walmarts, and within like a 15-mile radius, maybe
Right.
more than that. But if I go to the one that's in like the more rural part, like right next to the country, they never have jars or lids. But if I go to the one that's smack dab in the middle of the city, they'll have them sometimes.
Oh yeah. Well, those people don't even know what they are.
Right. So I go to where like people don't think of canning or anything like along those lines too.
My sister-in-law, March, when all this went crazy, my sister-in-law texted me. She's like, Johnny, I'm like, what? She goes, I just found canning jars. I'm like, where? Where did you find canning jars? I mean, I already had a buttload, but I was still stocking up. I'd get a case or two every time if I saw them. She found them at the hobby store. Like, is it Hobby Lobby?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she found canning jars there. They're used for, and it's just, I mean, I've got some. It's a brand that I'd never used before. I used them to do the chicken broth. That's what I put them in.
Mm-hmm.
See how they do, because I go through chicken broth really, really quick, so it's not that big of a deal. But they all sealed. The lids look good. It was. I'll show you. It's right here.
His broth, if y'all haven't seen, the ones that haven't seen his beautiful chicken broth he can, the bone broth, oh my gosh.
That golden
those
color
beans
just
look,
makes you want to swoon.
yeah. Yes, those beans look so good.
Thank you.
But they're Anchor. They're called Anchor, and like the glass itself, you probably can't see it on the camera, but there's like. It's not like perfect glass. It's almost like old window pane glass in an ancient house. But it's. I was like, what the hey? I'll try it. I told her, I said, grab me 4 cases, and they've been just sitting, downstairs for a year. But the lids are. I mean, the seal on this is actually, it looks nicer than the ball. I mean, the ball compared to this is the not ball. This is the ball lid here. This is ball. But if you notice the rubber, the band is actually wider than the ball band.
Wow.
There's like a lot more that one.
Now, were they labeled as canning jars? Or
Yeah.
Were they just
BPA free for canning and crafts.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, get them. I'll try them. I mean, if they don't work for canning, I can, I could easily do like what I initially got them for was like for pastas and stuff. I could vacuum seal them in here. If they're not, if I don't think they're good for canning, I can just vacuum seal pasta and stuff. Because the glass, it looks like it's not quite as thick as the ball mason jar, and there are imperfections in the glass. But I mean, they all held up and they all sealed perfectly. So,
Jennifer has a question. What are each of your favorite things to can? Any recommendations for recipes that are good to can? An example, apple pie filling.
my favorite thing is chicken.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. Go ahead.
The only thing I've really canned are beans and chicken and a stew, and all of those I can recommend all of those. Just so yummy,
Yeah, I do. I love doing chicken because you get free chicken broth. It's like a bonus. It's a bonus. Any kind of meat that you can save the stock, that's a bonus. Like literally a bonus. But like, yeah, that's my favorite. Would be chicken.
Guys, you're gonna have to can rabbit broth too.
Well, I'm gonna put some Hassan pepper in a jar, and I'm gonna can my rabbit and rabbit broth.
Yes, rabbit broth is really good. So is duck broth.
Yeah, And Emily's kind of twisted my back, and she's done taught me into doing this cookbook thing, kind of online cookbook thing, where I'm just going to randomly grab stuff out of my pantry and use all canned stuff and make food and like do the cooking show. But like I can literally go down there and get a jar of ground beef, I can get a jar of mixed vegetables, and I can get a jar of potatoes. This is all stuff that I can, and I can come up here and I can make a shepherd's pie in no time.
I love shepherd's pie.
Favorite meal I love.
Homestead.
Hey, what's going on, Roland?
Hey, Jeff.
Teresa said that she bought the lids from Uline last year and that they are good lids. That's awesome, Teresa. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
You work with what you got. I mean, I started with Ball. I've only ever used Ball until last week was the first time I used a brand that wasn't a Ball, jar or lid. But I've had awesome success with it, so I'm just sticking with Ball. They cost a little bit more, but I don't care. They work for me. So as long as I can find them, I'm going to get them.
Mouse Toes told me about Orchard Road is what they're called, and you can order them on Amazon. And I've used those, and I never had a failure on those. And those seem pretty great. And then Ball and Kerr I've used.
Angry. Oh, no, what's it? I saw one at Teresa Sample. Do I raw pack my chicken? No, I actually cook it. I cook it beforehand because that way it's easier to get the meat on the bone, because the bones go back in the pot with my veggies and they make my broth, my bone broth.
Milkmaid, you were going to say something to me?
I was going to ask if the hogs, if you got them back in.
Oh, yeah, I got them back in.
Electric pressure cooker. What is that, Angry? What do you think about using an electric pressure cooker? All right, a pressure cooker is not a pressure canner. I can pressure cook food in my pressure canner, but I cannot pressure can in a pressure cooker. I would not do that.
Sometimes fast.
Yeah, I know, right?
Your beans look great, Jess.
Thank you. They smell really good.
Yeah.
Yes. Anchor is the #2 maker of glassware and baking dishes. We were at the Dollar General store tonight, and they had cases of quart jars and lid rings, and they had Anchor jars for $9. Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, these are Anchor Harbor. Yeah, Anchor Harbor. I mean, they're working fine, so I got no complaints.
I want to say there's only like 2 companies that make all the jars under the various names. When I was looking into it.
Yeah.
I know, like, Ball and Kerr are the 2 biggest ones that I've heard of, but I just stick with the Ball.
A big tip also is you can, if you have any Amish around you, you can buy a sleeve of 45 lids for like $30, and they are all ball lids. The only difference is they're not marked with the ball lid, so that will save somebody some huge money there.
Yeah. There's a good one.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was saying that Jeff Bear asked Ghost. I started canning when shit just hits the fan. How long will chicken broth last? Just as long as a chicken. Yeah, I mean, I don't see it going bad. It's going to deteriorate at the same rate as the meat.
But not
in my opinion.
It's losing nutrition if it's in the light and stuff like that. Maybe over time, like that's why you have your like Used By or Best Buy on your canned foods that you buy at the store. It doesn't mean that they're not good afterwards. It just means that they're not peak nutrition.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want you to do that typical domesticated thing, and you see a date, and you automatically, it registers in your mind that it's no good, and you throw it away, and you got to go buy new ones.
Yep.
It doesn't mean the food's bad. It just, that's the date that they say, hey, this is at its best. Because usually it doesn't say expiration date; it says Best Buy.
And it's a requirement that the FDA forces on the companies too, because I know, like, when I was with an essential oil company, they was trying to force us to do dates on their stuff as well, even though it's essential oils. As long as it's in there, it's good. You know, that's.
Yeah.
I wondered about that.
Yeah. Teresa, do you raw pack your chicken? I know Ghost answered that. I have raw packed my chicken because, like, if I just do chicken breast, I'll raw pack it. But if I do thighs or something like that, I'll pre-cook.
Well, I'm gonna just tell you right now, Mouse Toes, she does the raw pack with the bone in with her chicken thighs for her chicken cacciatore. I just had to put that out there.
No, she said she doesn't like it though. She doesn't like it. She did it, but then she tried it and
Yeah.
she didn't like it.
Ah.
I've got to stand up for.
Yeah, I just
She's like,
don't see the need in wasting that bone in the canning process if you're not going to use it to make bone broth. I mean, I'm just like, that's a no-brainer. I'm taking the meat off, it's going by itself, and then I'm making bone broth because it don't get no better than that.
Well, I mean, not only that, but I mean, it's a little more work to take the bone out.
Yeah.
Now, I have not actually canned chicken before. I've done like venison, goose, breast, and beef, right? I haven't actually done chicken yet, but
Right.
or rabbit because we just ate it too fast. But yeah, it makes sense to kind of take it off the bone and then use the bone and not have to do that later on. Plus, you can pack more chicken in if you don't have all the bone there, you know?
And plus, chicken,
Yeah.
I mean, bone broth sells for between $5 and $6 a quart at the stores. $5 to $6 a quart. I put up 16 quarts the other day for free. I mean, if you do the math, I made money.
Yeah.
I crave bone broth, man. Like, it is so good.
Yep.
Good night,
That's good for you.
PAMT.
Yeah. You can
Good
just
to
you
see
can
you,
just you
Jim.
can you can just boil up some noodles and put it in the bone broth and you got chicken noodle soup. Like for real.
And it's rich. It's so good.
When I make mine, I'll put a whole bunch of stuff in it too, like especially chicken feet. Okay, that is the best for bone broth.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Cling on
I
French.
didn't know it.
Cling-
I put vegetables on top so they wouldn't float to the top when I was making like broth.
Yeah.
Klingon Princess had a question. I couldn't tell who was talking. Why pre-cook thighs? Just so you can get them off the bone, and then you can make a bone broth with the bones.
Yeah. Discover Sustainable. Do you have a link for the video of the bone broth? I'm sure I don't know how to do that, to be honest with you. Discover. Maybe Emily L can do that. I mean, I know if you go to my channel, I mean, if you just click on my canning playlist, it's on there. It's one of the most recent videos I've done. I'm just now figuring out this stuff. I've only been doing it for like 3 months, so it's a learning curve. I'm figuring it out.
Back to lids, like I had to order lids. These are some of the lids you can get off of Amazon that they are made in China. They say in the ad that you can fit them on Bell or Kerr or whatever. Some of the jars I used old Kerr lids that I already had. One of the jars I did is actually one of these inexpensive options. So, I'll be able to tell you in a little while about that. But also with the bone broth, the efficiency, like we were talking about earlier with, it takes a lot of time. It's a time-consuming process. There's a lot to it. So if you can split those steps up where you have bone-in chicken thigh, you have 2 different products to work with there. You have the meat and the broth. Separate them and double what you put away,
Yeah. And plus, what Mouse Toast said is whenever you're actually pressure canning the bone in the chicken, the bones become kind of mushy and they end up being kind of gristly in your food, and you don't want that. So it's better, unless if you don't mind that, then I guess you can do it with the bone in. But it's better if you're going to do something with the bones, pre-cook it a little bit to get just so you can get the meat off of the bone easily, and then make your bone broth separately.
Yeah.
Yep. Milkmaid, are you done yet? Is yours finished?
I've got it written down on my little scratch pad. It'll be done at 11:29.
Oh,
all right,
boy.
so you got about half an hour. Yeah.
I'm not even gonna bother trying to take them out tonight because this thing takes so long to come down on pressure that I'm just like, screw it.
And did you do quarts or pints?
Quarts.
Okay.
I have yet to do pints because I've got, okay, I have 3 teams. One of them is gone now, though, in the military. But, I mean, they eat like, they've been eating like adults since they were like 6. I don't know what it is
Yeah.
about our family, but we can eat like, whoa. So that's why, like, for me, prepping is all about the freaking food. Like, I need a lot of food.
Yeah. And you know, canning is an initial investment, like the jars and the lids and everything. But really, other than replacing your lids, you don't have to replace the rings anymore unless they start getting like rusty and stuff. So, like, it's initially a little bit more expensive, but then once you start it, the jars are reusable as long as you take care of them.
Yeah.
The rings are reusable as long as you
Okay.
take care of them.
May the best life. Thanks for coming in, Bill.
I'm trying to go solo here. There we go. There's the chicken.
Yeah.
And now I pull the chicken off the bone, I put it in the jar, and then I fill it up with water because the liquid that's in here is chicken broth. That's chicken broth in there. Now this is the liquid gold. Look at that.
Whoa.
That's
good.
beautiful.
That's
It is.
That is, that's the good stuff.
Yes.
Hey, Shane.
And that was bone broth.
Yeah, that was bone broth.
The color, you can tell by the color.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's completely different than chicken broth.
The best is like if it's cold and it's gelatinous. Oh.
Like you use that to make like anything, soups and stews and gravies and grits. You make grits with it. It's awesome. If you've never made grits with chicken broth instead of water, it'll blow you away. Yes.
Yeah.
Try that because I haven't heard.
Really
of
good
that.
with grits. I've even made rice with it. It was awesome. I made rice with it. It's awesome. Yeah, some good stuff right there. That's why I'm like, I mean, just look at that.
I agree with Jeff. Milkmaid, you do not look old enough to have teenagers.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, my oldest is 18. My youngest is 15.
Wow.
I got married when I was 18. And then I had my first kid right the day before I turned 20. And then it was like bam, bam, bam.
I had
Jeff
my son the day after I turned 20.
Oh, really?
Yes.
We're in the same house.
Jeff Bear's got a good comment. He says, Ghost, how come your broth, he says boss, but I'm pretty sure he meant broth. How come your broth looks better than mine? Mine's clear. Well, this is chicken broth. That's just chicken in water, boiled water, which makes chicken broth. It's chicken flavored water pretty much. This is bone broth, which came from that same chicken. This comes out of a couple of huge, massive stock pots that I put on the stove, and it's all in the video if you want to go watch it. Emily actually posted the link. But I take celery, carrots, and onions, cut them up, put them in the water. I cook my chicken in that water about 70% through. I don't cook it all the way. I take it out, pull the meat off, then I throw the bones, the skin, everything that ain't going in with the meat goes back in that jar or back in that pot, and it gets to simmer for about 6 to 8 hours while I'm canning the chicken. Once I'm done canning the chicken, then I can the bone broth. That's why it's so dark and rich, because it's in there with those bones, and the bones are breaking down and all that marrow is seeping out, and then you've got the veggies in there with it. Oh, yeah, this is good stuff right here.
Yeah.
You just strain your broth through something, correct?
Yeah. I take my measuring cup, and I've got a strainer and a jar that I can pour from, and I just dump a whole bunch of loads in there, and it strains everything out. You can use, I mean, I don't strain completely everything out. I use a very fine strainer. I use this one. It's a really, really fine. But that's all the straining I do. Those holes are, I don't know how small they are. But so a lot of the goodness, I'm basically keeping all the big chunks of bones out. Everything else, if it can make it through these holes, I'm eating it. You know, so there's literally minute chunks of meat floating all through here. Yeah, so
Right.
good stuff.
Like I just take one of those little rubber spatulas and just kind of press on that, so it's squishing out all the veggies and everything like that, but it's leaving the chunks.
Yeah, that's a good idea where you press down to get all the juices out of the veggies and the carrots. And yeah, that's a really good idea.
And don't forget to scrape the bottom of that strainer too, so you're not losing that stuff that's hanging off the bottom.
And you can do multiple loads of the, like the bone broth. Usually the first load is super dark like this one. And then I've got my second load that went in the canner is a little bit lighter. And then the third load is a little bit lighter than that. So I have 3 different levels of intenseness.
I'm glad you said that, Ghost, because I was going to bring it up if you didn't. Because you can do a couple of loads.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, stretch that stuff. You're pulling all those minerals out. Like
I did 3 separate loads of the broth, and there are 3 different thicknesses if you keep adding water and you boil it later.
Hey, Crust is the answer.
Hey, Sita.
Hi, Sita.
Oh.
I'll be honest, I haven't canned broth because it doesn't last long enough. Everybody drinks it. Like we'll put it in a mug, or like I'll throw it on a pot and throw like a couple sprigs of rosemary off the bush and some like mushroom powder. Just punch that stuff up. Some thyme.
You guys, we just hit the 3-hour mark, and we're back up to 60 and 63, 64 people in the chat. We haven't dropped below 50 the entire time.
That's awesome.
Well
Hit that
done.
thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already, please, folks.
That's crazy. I never expected this many people would come hang out with us doing this.
That's so cool. Well, I mean, I think that it's something that everybody's really interested in, and it's kind of scary if you haven't done it before. So
Yeah, I know I was scared the first time.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I had Mouse Toes' video on, and I'd play it, and I'd do that step, and then I'd push play again when I went to the next step.
I did that with children.
And it's like Virginia, we were all scared. We were scared right along with her. You got stuff spewing out the side, and I'm like, whoa, turn the heat off. Don't touch the weight.
I know. I came in with a propane tank and a misthreaded vintage canner just to throw the curve in there, man. It's all right.
Hey, but that's how you learn.
Yeah.
I was waiting on the countdown, like from the show 24, like having a 10-second countdown, hoping Virginia could make it stop at 2 before it went.
At least we all survived.
That was a good show.
Well, you know what? I'm glad though. I mean, not for you. I'm sure that was frustrating, but I'm glad though, because if somebody else is trying to can for the first time and they're watching that, and what's going on, then boom, they've got the solution.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, like I said before, if all of us had come up here and had not one mistake, that there's not as much to learn in that case, in my opinion. So
exactly,
I'm happy to be the mess up for everybody else. I'll do that. I'll take one for the team.
Hey, we got the best life shopping for a pressure canner now. We did it. Good job.
Nice. Welcome to the club. It's addictive. I'm going to tell you right now, it is addictive.
I hope the next time you hold one of these lives, more people come up, Ghost. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna run a T6 cable here into my kitchen so I can get better reception. I mean, I paid for those StreamYards so I can have like 10 people up here.
Well, there you go. See, more people need to join.
Yeah, with this Wi-Fi thing, it's got me limited to 6 cameras.
I thought you were hardwired in now.
I am in my bedroom and in my basement, but I'm in the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
You need an extension for in your kitchen. Like you need to run a cable for. Yeah,
I'm gonna run a cable this week, maybe tomorrow.
But I think your stream went really good tonight. You didn't really have that much of an issue.
Yeah, and your sound's been awesome. Like
Sandra.
Yeah,
Sandra Moody says. Yeah, Sandra Moody says, Ghost Prepper hubby just joined me so he could help if I needed it. I think he just wanted to make sure I didn't blow the kitchen up.
There you go, Sandra. Good job, Mr. Moody.
Yeah, bullfrog.
I
Did anybody
haven't
get
blown
blown up?
anything up yet, but it's close.
Bullfrog. Anybody get blown up late? No, no. Virginia had us
Not
worried,
yet.
but she pulled it out. Virginia pulled it out of the fire. She did good.
Yeah,
She
I did
did.
good. You should have seen it earlier. I had propane going and steam coming out the side. It was a moment, but we're good. We're good.
Like I said, tenacity award right there.
There
Yep.
you go.
Yep.
All right. I am at 0. It's time for me to pull mine out.
Oh,
Woo!
jealous. I've got. Wait a minute. When do I take it out? 11:20.
And you always want to make sure you're placing your jars on a towel on the countertop
Mhm.
to cool.
No, Jennifer, I wasn't saying more people to watch. I was just hoping that more people would get up on the panel. You know, newbies or whatever, experienced people get on the panel. That would be nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, because I mean, especially if you do that, then like if something goes wrong, you have somebody right there.
Right, exactly. And not that we don't want more people watching Ghost. Of course, we want as many people watching, but it'd be nice to have more people on the panel too.
Yeah.
And now you
I
let
mean,
it.
this is my first time canning beans. I
Awesome.
just haven't done them before.
Yeah.
I took my weight off. Now let it sit for 10 minutes.
Now, the
Okay.
thing is with the ghee that Ghost was talking about earlier, now I've cooked down ghee before, I've made ghee, but I've never canned it. So I'm really interested in that.
Yeah. You know, I thought earlier, I mean, this is way back in the conversation, but like if you're taking the time to can, right?
Uh-huh.
Because it is time consuming.
Right.
You could be doing something else. That's, I'm a very poor multitasker, but
Yeah.
I try. But like, for example, I bought a 25-pound bag of carrots that I'm gonna be chopping up and dehydrating because they just fit in a jar so tiny that way. It's nice. But
Hey, y'all, this is so. I'm sorry.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say you can be like doing food prep for either freezing or dehydrating while you're sitting here listening to the jiggler, or you can be doing the thing that I do where I get all my mail in a big box and then I go through and like sort it and do all of that, or you can be folding laundry or, you know, anything like that. It doesn't have to be you sitting there staring at your canner the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Jennifer Wilson says she's an internet marketer and she could teach us some things to help grow our channel and get more people to watch the videos. That would be awesome. You could shoot me an email and I would love to hear anything you have to say. That'd be awesome. And Rolling Homestead says, Ghost, now you got to do a pressure canning video on an open fire, SHTF. Ta-da! Didn't we talk about that earlier?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Roland, that I was going to go outside in the backyard with an internet cable and start a fire and see what happens.
Milkmaid, I also wanted to tell you, you were talking about the carrots. Have you ever tried carrot fries?
Yes, those are delicious.
Yeah,
Really?
I just did a video. I think it's dropping on Sunday, but it's on carrot fries, and you could do carrot fries and freeze those, and that's a good way to use up your carrots too, and they're really good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I put carrots in all my soups. Like,
Yeah.
I do soups a lot. Everybody hates it in the summer, but it's one big pot. It makes a great big bunch, and then I can freeze some or can some or whatever. But it's super easy, and I always throw carrots and garlic and onion and all that fun stuff in it.
Yeah.
But just having that on hand is nice.
Right. Jennifer's asking for your email, Ghost.
Emily got it.
Oh, okay.
Emily's all over it.
She's always on point.
Jeff has a question about using a pressure cooker on open fire and not ruin it. The outside of it is going to get a little more charred with open fire in my experience, but the inside should be perfectly fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to do it a couple of ways. I'm trying to decide if I want to do it over the open fire or if I want to build a wide fire pit and have the fire burning on one side and just slide my coals over and cook on the coals.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem I had was regulating the heat tonight when I had that bigger burner. if I turned it down to keep the PSI where I wanted it, it shut the whole burner off. So
Right.
I had to do a little bit of MacGyver work, and I also had to move up to the kitchen. So for me, I had trouble with a propane burner. For anyone out there trying to learn, I had a tough time with that. Open coals or wood or something might be a little better.
Guess who's here? We're gonna see if we can get 7 up here.
Yes, Susanna!
Hi.
Yes, girl!
Hi.
Hey.
So I took them out and I'm going to show them here in a minute.
Woohoo! Yay!
Awesome.
Good to see you, Susanna.
Can you
I
see
gotta
that?
get bigger. Make her big.
I'm not sure if you can see it.
All we see is your emoji. All we see is your pretty face. We don't see any cans. You gotta turn your camera on.
Oh, really?
No,
Go
I'm
make her
seeing
big.
jars.
I don't see anything.
Make her big. It's your
Yeah.
internet connection because we see it.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm trying.
Oh,
There it is.
They look good.
Oh
Let me see
yes,
if I can.
ma'am.
That's great.
dude.
Oh
Good
wow.
job.
Get all of us. Well, no, I guess Keaton. But,
I can see it on my phone.
oh, there you go.
Okay, so 2 of them popped already. Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of
Sometimes
times
they
they'll.
pop as you're lifting them out of the
Yeah.
scanner. Yeah.
Okay.
That little ping noise is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
going
now-
to pick them up and show what it looked like. I wanted to make sure I was doing it okay.
They look great.
Good.
And you always
Well
want to
done.
open the lid away from you so you don't get burned.
Now, Susanna, had you canned beans before?
No.
So we're on the same. Yeah.
Yes.
Heck
Yes.
Yeah.
Susanna, I'm so happy you tried with us. We were talking about it last night, and you said you were going to try maybe off camera, and you did an awesome job.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
That gets me so excited. It really does. Like, whenever people try something that you haven't tried,
I agree.
Especially when it goes to self-sufficiency. Like, okay, so I used to have to tell myself this when I would be facing a really rough or like scary situation. I'd have to tell myself that future me is going to thank now me for just doing it, even if I screwed up, you know?
Right. Yep. And that's the best attitude to have. Somebody had quoted that. I don't know if it was you yesterday that had said that quote, and I agree. It is brilliant. And the future me is going to be very proud of looking like a fool on here tonight, you know?
You didn't look like a fool. You didn't look like a fool, Virginia.
No, because you showed people what to do if something happens like that to your counter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I try to fail forward as much as possible.
Right? Fail forward. I love that.
Oh, trust me, I do it a lot.
I'm a professional at that, I think.
I do like a fail forward club. Because I do it like right now, my garden, I'm really pissed off with it. Because I'm realizing the soil is so crappy.
Awesome,
So it may not be an amazing
Sandra.
garden. But I'm learning.
I had
Sandra
a
said
spot.
that the
I
timer
put out.
is done. Sorry, timer
Like
is done. Now
sometimes
for
there's.
pressure to come down. Kitchen intact.
Yes, Sandra. Kitchen intact.
They won't blow up. I mean, you really do have to try to blow them up. The thing that scares me more than anything is not keeping the pressure high enough. Like that's your real concern.
Mhm.
Other than that, I mean, you'd have to try.
Yeah, I agree.
Ghosts, they look beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cranberry beans.
See, I can't wait to try those. I did buy some after you said something about them. I really,
Yeah, I'm gonna
really
have to
wanna try
can
'em.
some of mine up maybe this coming week.
I just want to cook some and eat them. Like,
Yeah, that's when you're praying for one seal to not work. You're like, one of them
yeah.
just failed, just one.
Oh,
Ghost,
I
you
did
might
that
want to
with
talk to them about if you do have a failed seal.
Yeah, one just popped. Yeah, if you have a failed seal, if you take it out of your canner and it doesn't seal, just put it in your refrigerator and make a meal out of it. I mean, if you find it, the next day, obviously you probably just want to dispose of it. But if you notice that it doesn't seal, usually I don't even go to sleep till all mine seal. I just want to make sure they're all good, because if not, I'm putting it in the refrigerator.
I'm a tiny bit of a rebel because, I mean,
Okay.
how many people went to college and had pizza out of the box the next morning?
Yay,
Just
mine
saying.
all popped.
Yay,
That's
Susanna,
why you
that's
keep
awesome.
activated charcoal on hand.
I'm excited, guys. I can't help it.
Hey,
Oh, we're
Casher.
happy for you.
Good girl.
Jeff, I see you down there, but my stream is limited. I can only pull up the ones that are on the panel. My internet is on Wi-Fi, and it's like running really slow right now. I can't pull anybody else up.
Oh, do you want me to jump down?
No.
I can jump down too yeah.
Me too.
If new people want to come up and show their stuff.
Yeah. If people have stuff to show that they've done canon alongside of everybody, like,
Yeah.
just let me know. I'll pop off.
Yeah, I'll jump down for a bit.
be
If you want, you can throw the link later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll jump down too.
Me too. I'm almost done, so I'll come back when it's
All right.
And there was 2.
And see, my stream's running so low. My phone has 2 on it, but my laptop still shows everybody's here.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's how slow it is. And it won't even let me pull Jeff up. All right, there we go.
Hey, Jeff.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
What's going on, brother?
Hear me? I'm doing good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to show you how to deal with the fire temperature problem cooking over an open fire.
I'm sorry, I just caught the tail end part. Temperature problem with open fire.
Oh, I think he froze.
Could you guys see that?
Yeah.
No.
Could you guys see that? Or did it lose?
It dropped out.
Okay, so how I cook on an open fire is I do a round circle like that, and then I'll do a rectangle off to the side, and the fire is here, and you scoop the coals into the rectangle, and that's where you have your grate. So you can put more coals underneath it or take coals out from underneath it in order to regulate the temperature of whatever you're cooking. Whether it's a pressure canner or whatever. You guys catch that?
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing. I'm gonna do the grate, but I'm gonna try doing it like not directly over the fire. I just want to get the coals really, really good and hot, kind of like when you're smoking a pig or something, and just kind of slide the coals to the side. Do you think it'd be easier to regulate the temperature with just the coals or with the open fire?
Coals all the way.
All right, yeah, so that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use the fire to make the coals, and I'm gonna shift them over to where I'm cooking.
Let me grab a piece of paper and let me draw this for you so you can kind of see it. I can send you a picture. Really? Yellow? No. Okay. So you have your fire pit. And then you do a rectangle off of that. And that's where you put your grate. Your fire is here, and you move the coals underneath.
Yeah.
You move them in or out to regulate the heat.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured that the constant fire is going to be the same issue Virginia had cooking over her burner outside, because it wouldn't let her turn it low enough to reduce the heat and the pressure. But I figure with the coals, once I get it to the right heat, it'll be a whole lot easier to regulate that by just shifting or adding or removing coals versus having to pick the entire canner up and take it away from the fire.
Exactly. And then if you have just a fire, the wind can push the heat off of whatever you're trying to cook. Whereas if you have that little rectangle box, it works like an oven and puts the heat right where you want it.
Yeah, Teresa Sample says, could you use a rocket stove with your canner? Yeah, I mean, but you're going to have the same issue. You're really going to have, I mean,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work getting the temperature right. It'll be easier with cold. So what?
Who, Al Holler just hopped in?
Oh, hey, Hoop.
Hey, Hoop, how you doing?
Mm-hmm. Discover Sustainability says, that's awesome to know, Jeff.
I'll take some pictures and I'll send them down to Ghost so he can share them.
Cool. Hell yeah.
Whoever.
That'll be awesome.
Thank you, Discover Sustainable.
I think I'm going to shift, since I'm done, all my jars have popped. My process is done as far as canning goes. I think I'm going to shift back to my laptop in the bedroom so I get a better connection and shut these two feeds down. And then hopefully we can pull everybody back up and talk and finish watching Virginia and Milkmaid with theirs, because they still got a ways to go.
Yeah.
All right, see, I'll hold it down. I'll get everything situated and I'll be on the other laptop.
All right. I'm just reading the chat. Can you use a pressure cooker on a turkey cooker with the gas and everything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I know I've watched a few videos where they use a hot plate on the turkey cooker, but I've never personally done it myself.
Anything where you can regulate the heat will work.
Now, do you can, Jeff?
Yeah, from the store. I can't keep my house below 75 degrees, even with my AC unit. So if we lose power, it's going to be 98 degrees in my house.
Wow.
And anything canned is going to be gone, so I don't bother.